It's Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. Today is Sunday, the 27th of September, and this is so something where I do a project, and you guys could either follow along or I just chit chat or something happens. So today's video is we're going to be making this bag. I'm gonna let people join in for a minute while my other screen loads so I can see who's here. And we got Nita, Linda, Debbie, and Brenda here. Hi guys, welcome. So while everybody joins in, I will explain. Most of you know I have gone bag crazy. Seriously. I need something to do, keep my mind occupied since my head hurts. But I kind of went a little bag crazy. And this is now size 2. I've named these the Tiffy bags. Why? Because it just sounds funny. Because my name's Tiffany. So they're the Tiffy bags. This is size 2. The little ones we made last week is the little bag size 1. So these are size 2. 100% free patterns. Easy to follow along. Easy to make. They're not horrible. This one is a little bit more complicated because this one uses foam. But if you don't have foam, you don't have to use foam. You can use felt or batting, cotton batting, as long as you have a thicker interfacing, which can 100% make or break a project, especially a bag. So the thicker the interfacing, the better, or stabilizer, whatever you guys want to call it. For this bag, it doesn't really need to be totally thick because this has foam in it, but if it was being made without foam, it needs to be thicker. So, hi Jim, hi June, Diane, Vicky, some saying hi. We got Nedra, welcome. I haven't seen your name before. Kim, hi. Everyone else is saying hi. Hi Linda, Pauline, Deborah. Hi guys. Okay, so again, for those joining today, we're making the Tiffy bag size 2, and I'll show you all about how to do it. So I'm going to also warn you today's video so that you guys can get the 100% effect on how this is cut and pieced and made and so on and so forth. Today's camera angles are going to get moved. So if you get motion sickness or dizzy at all in any whatsoever kind of way, just know I'm going to do my best to hold the camera still, but some people have been curious how it works at the machine, so I will bring the camera holder up to the machine so that you guys can see, so that I can sew it as best as I can with the camera right in front of my face. It's a little bit harder to do that, and I do have mounts, but they just don't stay, and the ones that do stay vibrate the whole time if the machine is running. So I'm just going to use the mount that I'm always using all the time, and I'm just going to do my best to set it up here and hold it in place while sewing. And if it doesn't work, I'll just put the camera on the side so that you can see, or I'll just take the whole tripod and put it behind me so you can see. We'll see how it works. I kind of thought it through until I realized that the mounts weren't staying, which what I'm talking about is this. I have this mount, and it doesn't, I mean, it stays once it's on here, but it vibrates when the sewing machine is on, and I didn't want the vibration. So and it doesn't vibrate as much on the desk, but it's hard to get it to stay on the desk, so we'll just work with what I have, and if I have to change this mount, I will. First time ever caught me live. Well, welcome. I'm glad you caught me. Hi Shirley. Hi Pam. Am I missing anything? Everyone's still saying hi. Still saying hi. Okay, so here is the bag we're going to be making. This bag is 9 inches across the bottom, 6 inches wide, and it's 10 inches tall by 14 inches across at the top. Technically like 13.5 inches worth of zipper. So when it is opened, this stays really nice because it has the foam in it. And when it is open, one side of the bag has a slip pocket and a pen pocket, so you could stick your pen in there like that, and you'll have your pen Easy to grab on the side wall of your purse, or it fits more than one pin, actually. I'll just show you. It fits more than one pen. Some people have a blue pen and black pen, which I do personally carry a blue and a black pen. And then the opposite side has a slip pocket turned into two. And they're very, very easy to put in. The bag is quite easy to put together. I did not want to put a zipper pocket in this bag because it still seems kind of on the small side. So I did these, but you're more than welcome, if you know how to do zippers, to do a zipper pocket on the inside of this bag if you want, because I will be giving you all the measurements of all the cuts. This is a 3-color bag, so it has the main focus print, and then it has an accent print, which also works for the handles. And then the inside has the focus print as the pockets, and it has a different color for the lining so that you can see inside your bag. So I made sure to tell you guys that you need 3 prints. They are half-yard cuts. So you need a half-yard of your focus, a half-yard of your accent color, and a half-yard of your lining color. And you will have fabric left over. I just wanted to make sure I told you guys on the oversized amount of, just so that you have enough in case some of you mess up on your cuts or something like that. So, and then you will also need at least a 16-inch zipper. We're going to be cutting it down. So if you have an 18-inch zipper, that works as well, because it will be getting cut down and covered so that we can have these side tabs right here. And yeah, so, and it works great on the arm. This also fits up on the shoulder for those of you, I know you can't see when I stand, so it fits on the shoulder nicely. They are 20-inch straps. So, well, they finish at 20 inches. So it has plenty of room. I don't mind bags like this. You can also make your handles differently if you want. I am not for these bags because, well, I'm trying to get a lot done in a short period of time. So, again, here is the bag. For those that are just joining, 9 inches at the bottom, 6 inches wide. It is 10 inches tall and 14 inches wide at the top, and has 20-inch handles. Again, you can make your handles differently. I do plan in the future to create a different handle thing so you can have a crossbody bag as well. Just right now, I'm kind of playing with different ideas with this design itself. So there's that. Let's see who else is here. People are still saying hi. We got June here. Everyone's saying hi. Teresa's here. Hello. Still scrolling. We got Lisa here. Hi, Lisa. Still saying hi. Still saying hi. All right. So, what else was I going to say? Oh, for those that are just joining, the camera angle will get moved during today's video to different angles. So if you are seasick or movement sick or anything like that, just bear with me. I will try to move this camera as soft as possible so that it doesn't affect the video too much. So, and if you guys are sewing along, I'm going to be doing my best for the sew along to make sure that I answer anything I can while I see it. And I'm also making sure that everything's answered and all the numbers are there for the video for the replay afterwards. So, where are we at? We got Christine here. Hello, Robbie. Gloria's here. Mary Jane is here. Lynetta is here. Hi, guys. All right, so yeah, let's get to tipping the camera down and start with how this gets done. So it's pretty much the same as last Sunday for the smaller bag. Actually, let me grab a smaller bag so I can show you the difference in size. So here's the difference in size for the two bags. So you can see. This one is just a little handbag or makeup bag or whatever you want it to be. Actually, the one I made for myself, the first one from Sew Sunday's video last week, I actually use it. I filled it with stuff, and I'm going to tell you right now, it surprisingly fits quite a bit in it. It also fits on the arm for those that don't mind carrying it on the arm. I walk with a cane when I walk farther than around the house. So it definitely still works around my arm and to walk with a cane. Yeah, so it's a lot smaller. This one is 10 inches at the across the top and 7 inches across the bottom. And I haven't measured it since a couple days ago, that's why I forgot. 4 inches across the bottom and 6 inches tall. So you can see there's quite a difference in size between the two style bags. And yeah, but they're both the 3 colorways. I have done some that are not 3 colorways. Let me grab one of those to show you as well. You guys saw the ones I did in the Insomniac video. So here's one of the smaller ones done with strips. Again, they're just really cute, adorable little bags. And that is why I've been making a ton of them. So let's put these out of the way. And we're going to start with the cutting. So I'm going to bend this camera down like this so you can see the area. We're going to move this bag out of the way for those that want to see it again. So you need your matchy thread or whatever thread you have. Your zipper that's at least 16 inches. A half a yard. Now this obviously is more than a half a yard because I'm working with full yardage to make multiples of the same style. So we have a half a yard of one print, a half a yard for your accent, and a half a yard for your lining is all you're going to need for just one bag. If you want to make multiples, that's on you. Then just know you need more yardage for that, like I am using here. So again, it's a half a yard of 3 different prints. So half a yard, half a yard, half a yard. That's a yard and a half total. And we are going to start with how to make your template. Your template is made from 2 pieces of paper. So you are going to go ahead and take your 2 pieces of paper and a 15-inch ruler because we are making this 15 inches. We're going to make sure the ruler stays nice and straight. Line both pieces of paper up to your ruler like this to where they come across 15 inches total at the top. And if it was right here in front of my face, but no, it's in the next one because I threw it in further. Take some tape. Keep everything nice and straight. Tape your papers together. And I just want to make sure one more time that they're 15 inches across the bottom, and they are, before I completely tape this together. So I'm going to tape this one side like this till it's all nice and taped. And then just to keep everything nice the whole entire time, I'm going to go ahead, flip it over, and tape the back. Just some clear tape, or you can use paper tape or whatever tape you have. This is how we make it. So, oops, that did not land where I wanted it to. This is 15 inches. So the 2 pieces of paper at their shortest length together, laid across here to create 15 inches. Okay, and then if you have it correctly, this should be the 11 inches of your piece of paper. So your piece of paper is technically 11 by 8.5. So 2 of them together to 15 inches by 11 inches. Okay, once you have that taped, go ahead and fold it in half. This is the same as the other template. We're going to fold it in half like this. Make sure that it's nicely folded in half, like that. Everything's equal. And you're going to take your ruler, and on the side that opens, not the folded side, but the side that opens, you're going to come over here to 3-inch square. And you're going to take a pen, and if you're using a pen, you're going to be backing it away just a little bit for the pen. We're going to come here and mark a 3-inch square like that. We're going to take some paper scissors, keeping this nicely folded in half. We're going to use the paper scissors and we're going to cut out 3 inches right here on our paper. Cutting on that line that we just made. So when you open it back up, you have a template that looks like this. That from here to here is 15 inches. Is that a 5? Nope, that's backwards 5. Look at that. 1, 5. Maybe I should write it like that. So it's 15 inches. And then this right here, well, technically this whole thing is 11 inches. Okay? Right here, if you cut it out correctly, should be 8 inches on this side, 8 inches on this side, and down here should be 9 inches. Oops, 9 inches. There we go. So that's how the template is put together. And these are 3-inch cutouts right here. Remember that. So you cut out 3 inches on the fold. You're going to need this template. Trust me, you will need it for everything else. So there we have our template. It is done. Now let's get on to some cutting. You guys ready to start cutting up some fabric? Because I sure am. I'm going to check the comments real quick while the camera is still face down because I don't want to move again. We're going to see who we got going on here. Oh, well, lots of comments. Okay. I saw Lynetta last. Okay, let's go. Scroll. Hi, Linda. Karen, hello. Mary, hello. Scrolling through, everyone's still saying hi. Everybody's talking about some rain. June says they are very nice bags. Yes, they are. Teresa loves the bags. They're so cute. Yes, they are. This would be great for the So Yeah sushi rolls. Exactly, Karen. Talking about some flooding for Diane. Sona is here. Hello. Everyone's still saying hi. They are really cute. I'm just scrolling through, and if you guys need my attention, make sure you put at Tiffany's Quilting Life. That'll highlight it in red for me. That way I can see. Hi, Becca. Let's see. Still scrolling. Everyone's still saying hi. Hi, Cindy. Everyone's still, hi, Suzanne. All right, let's get to starting with some fabric cutting, and I'm just going to leave that down like that. Okay, so I'm going to always refer to this print right here as your focal fabric. So we're starting with the focal fabric. So that's this print right here. Then when I get to this print, this will be my accent and straps. Okay. And then when I get to this print, this will be my lining. So I will refer to this as my lining, which you only need one time. And then my accent print. And I'm using Wyndham Fabrics Moonstruck by Whistler Studios. This is also Moonstruck by Whistler Studios for Wyndham Fabrics, just in case you guys are curious, want to look up the line. So this focal, accent, and then the other one is lining, just so that you guys know. So we're going to start with our focal print first so that we can cut what we need from it. Remember, you just need a ½ yard for this bag, and that's overestimating purposely for anybody that messes up their cuts or anything like that. So I have it folded in half twice, my yardage folded in half twice. We're going to go ahead and cut our focal print first. For those that are following along, I'm going to try to go as slow, but try to stay steady so the video isn't forever long as possible. So I'm going to line this up on a line, and I'm going to make my first cut by straightening out this edge that has miraculously taken itself out of alignment, which seems to happen a lot, but that's okay. So I'm going to count over 9.5 inches because obviously this is only a 6-inch ruler. So our first cut is 9.5 inches. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then put the 1/2 inch line over towards the next number. 9.5 inches is what we're cutting from our focus fabric. 9.5 inches. And just so that you guys can see, we're gonna do cut number 1 equals 9.5 inches. And this is for focus. So if you can see that, cut number 1, 9.5 inches for our focus fabric. That's cut number 1. 9.5 inches. So you guys see that? First cut, 9.5 inches. Now guess what? We don't need anything left from this 1/2 yard. See why I mean? You can actually make a bag in the opposite style if you want from what will be left over. All right, so print is done. That is your focus fabric. Now we're going to make sure that the iron is on because I do have these folds. I want these folds gone, and I'm also going to line it up to where the selvages meet so I can cut them off equally at the same exact time. Yeah, stay tuned through this video. I will show you guys what's going on and tell you everything that's going on with these bags. Hi, Tony. Everyone's still saying hi. Everyone's still saying hi. Okay, so I'm going to press this real quick and I shall be back in 2 seconds because I'm just behind the other way. Don't mind me, I'm in pajama pants because, well, that's how I am comfortable. All right. Here we go. We're going to line this up on a line with the selvage beyond the line so that we can cut that off. Now, most fabric, and I'm going to tell you this during this cut on this piece specifically, most fabrics are 43 to 44 inches in length. But there have been instances, and I can tell you from personal experience, that there is fabric that is not 43 to 44 inches from selvage to selvage, that it's only like 41 or 40. After you cut the selvage away, you have less fabric, but that is okay because the cuts we are taking from this right here actually work out perfect either way. So I'm going to cut that selvage off. That's my first cut. I'm going to move that bag out of the way because it's annoying me. I throw all my little cut pieces in front of me. That first cut takes the selvage off. We are going to come up 11 inches. So I'm going to find my 11 because I'm already at my zeroed edge. I'm going to come over to 11 inches and I'm going to cut right here at 11 inches, just like that. So my first cut is 11 inches. Obviously the iron wasn't hot enough to hold that down. So now you should have 2 pieces, because it was folded in half, that are 9.5 by 11 inches. So your second cut off of that is 9.5 by 11 inches. So your second cut from that same one is 9.5 by 11 inches. So you came over 11 inches and you cut 2 pieces at the same exact time. We're going to set these aside now, and we're going to keep them longwise like that here on the board. And now we have these next 2 pieces. If your fabric is the right length, you should be able to come over 10.5 inches. So once it's lined back up on a line, oops, and I'm moving, the leftovers, remember it's still folded in half, the pieces staying together, you should be able to come over 10.5 inches. That is if you had the correct length of fabric. If not, it doesn't matter, cut all the way to your fold. That's what I was going to tell you. So if you don't have that full 44-inch wide fabric and you just got gypped some length, come over as far as you can to your fold and cut off that fold. All this is your inner lining pockets. So you get your lining pockets. You should have 2 pieces for the same cut. And what we're going to do is, here's the 9.5 inch right here, and here's your 10.5 inch. We're going to fold it on the 10.5 inch side, so that way we don't mix these up with our other pieces. We're going to fold these in half like this, and we're going to keep them in half like that. Okay, you see how I did that? So this was my 9.5. They were facing this way. This is now 10.5. I'm just going to pick it up and fold it in half and move it out of the way because that cut is now done. And I have 2 of them. Those are your inner pockets. So now I'm just moving them out of the way and keeping them folded. If somebody wants to put the cuts in the comments, I kind of can't type at the same exact time, but I can put them in the description of the video later, after the video. Hi Tessa. Hi Vivian. Did anyone else join? Okay, so now we're going to be pulling out the focus, or I mean not the focus, the accent fabric. And no, this is not a gray, it's like a blue gray. I mean, it's kind of like a gray, but it's a blue gray. And now I'm going to give you guys the accent fabric cuts. And yes, like I said, I will put the measurements in the description after the video. Hi, Marlene, unless someone wants to add them now. All right, so here is my accent fabric. Again, it is folded in half. You can tell my fabric is got the top fold right here, and I'm just going to line this up on a line and straighten this cut out as well on the side right here because it wasn't completely straight from my last. Just throwing it around kind of undoes that fancy cut. So we're just going to straighten this up, and I'm going to write it on the paper as I go. Okay, so that piece is now nice and straight of an edge. So cut number 3, so now we're done. This is focus fabric. Cut 3, we're going to come over, hold on, let me write this down, that way you guys can see. We're going to come over 3.5 inches for the first cut. So we're going to come over, cut 3, 3.5 inches, first cut from the accent. Okay, so from the accent color. Trying to like write this all down. So 3.5 inches, just like this. We're gonna line up 1, 2, 3, and then the half mark. We're gonna make that first cut. First cut is 3.5 inches. I'm gonna open it and align the selvages again on this print, and I'm gonna press it because it definitely is functified. I'm just in the back camera. This was a 3.5 inch cut, and we're going to do all the cutting, all the pressing, and all the piecing in a row. I'm going to move that piece out of the way, the bigger piece, and now we're going to subcut. I'm going to try to write this down at the same time. So cut number 4 is subcuts. We're going to line that selvage up so we can chop that off and have a nice fresh cut. Lay this on here. We're on the accent fabric, and right now we are subcutting the accent fabric. Right now the first cut was 3.5 inches. Second cut is 8 inches. So turn the ruler the right way. I'm going to come over 8 inches like this. And it's still folded in half. So I have 2 pieces that I just cut at 8 inches. So we're going to do this twice. So cut number 4 is subcutting cut number 3 into 4 8-inch cuts. Okay, so here's 2. We're going to come up 8 inches again. And I'm just using the ruler for my cuts. We're going to come over 8 inches again, like that, and subcut 2 more, okay? So the accent fabric is cut into 4 8-inch pieces. These are going to go on each side of the main focus print. So we're going to put these aside over on top of our pile that we're making. So I just got 4 cuts from that. Then we have this piece left over. See? I'm going to leave it folded in half like this, and I am going to come over 1.5 inches. okay? 1.5 inches. It's on the fold, okay? So there's the fold, and I make the best out of all my fabric instead of cutting another piece. So we're gonna come over 1.5 inches like this. We're gonna make a cut. I'm gonna toss this piece out of the way because I do not need it. We're gonna open this up, and I'm gonna that fold right there. Do not cut towards yourself like that. So here, if we fold these in half like this, these are going to be our zipper tabs. So they are 1.5 inch by whatever was left over. So that would be 5 3/4 inch about. As long as they are more than an inch this way, you need more than an inch that way. So there is my 2 zipper tabs. So cut number 5 from that same piece is 1.5 inch for zipper tabs. So cut number 5, 1.5 inches from that leftovers for your zipper tabs. So I'm going to move these out of the way, and I'm going to take my accent fabric again, and now I'm going to line it up on a line, and I'm going to come over 4 inches. So it's still folded in half. Now I'm going to make a 4-inch cut. So I'm going to line this up on 4 inches, cut one 4-inch cut. Again, I'm going to line these two up at the selvage so that I can cut them off equally, but I need to press it. All right, so that was a 4-inch cut. Let's write that down. Cut number 6, 4 inches from accent. So that's a 4-inch cut for cut 6. The last for this fabric, cut 6 is 4 inches from the accent fabric. And now I'm going to line it up and cut the selvage off. So we're just going to line that up. We're going to cut the selvage off this end. And remember I said about that whole not all fabrics are exact when it comes to 44 inches. It would be nice if they were, but they are not. This piece is now straightened up on the end. You're going to come over 21.5 inches. So from here, where you just cut that off on your 4-inch, it's folded in half. So it's freshly cut. This is your 4-inch piece. You're going to come over 21.5 inches. If you do not have 21.5 inches, because again, this is for the straps, then you can go ahead and get the closest number you can at that fold. So I'm going to come over 21.5 inches like this. That's 21.5 inches. So technically I just cut off the fold. So cut 7, subcut.
Okay, Tiffy, we're going to go so we can get back.
Okay, 4-inch piece. EC2, 21.5 inches. Okay, so you'll have two 21.5 inch pieces. And if you don't, like I said, then just cut all the way to the fold of your fabric, splitting it in half. So as close as you can for your piece. So here is two 4-inch wide by 21.5 inch wide pieces. These are my straps. We're going to go ahead and place these aside. And now we're going to move this out of the way because we don't need the accent fabric anymore. That was all the cuts. So to start, to reiterate, I'm going to bring all these pieces over here before we get to the next part so that I can go over them one more time. Just because. That way, for those of you who are still cutting, since you're sewing along, this first cut from your focus fabric was 9.5 inches. Okay, then you get cutting it on with it still folded, you get come over 11 inches. and then cut. So you'll have two 9.5 by 11-inch pieces. Then whatever is left over from that cut, keeping it folded in half, you will have a 9.5-inch by 10.5-inch pocket, or whatever size you have, all the way up to your fold to get two pieces. So you'll have two pieces of that. So again, they were 9.5 by 10.5. Then that was all you needed from your focus fabric. Then from your accent fabric, you are cutting one 3.5-inch strip. Okay, and then you are going to subcut that into four 8-inch by 3.5-inch pieces. Okay, and then that little leftover that was at the end of that 3.5-inch piece, cut off 1.5 inches, because this was like this, and I just cut it in half. Cut off 1.5 inches for your zipper tabs, and then split that piece in half so that you have two equal pieces. Then from the accent end, which are going to be your straps, it's 4 inches. So you cut 4 inches off your fabric. You cut your selvage off, keeping it folded in half, and then you went all the way down to 21 inches, or as close as you possibly can to the fold of your fabric, and or snip it with some scissors if you need to, so that you end up with two 4-inch by 21.5-inch pieces. And again, if you don't have 21, if you didn't get 21.5, it's okay if you have 20.5 or so, because either way, you still get a pretty good size handle. And like I said, I've learned this from experience. Not all fabrics are created equal, and I'm pretty sure you all know this as well. So there was that. So I'm gonna put those two pieces aside. Now we are going to move to our lining. Now I have a lot here. You're only gonna need one cut from your lining. Well, technically two. So I'm, for me, just going to open this up to where I have my two selvage ends, because I'm just cutting from this as needed. So again, this is folded in half. This was 108 fabric, so it's folded in half. So this is what I'm going to do for mine. You can do this for yours, or you can line it up on your mat, and you can cut over either 15 inches and or you can cut over 11 inches and do it sideways. So what I'm saying is you can come over from your line, come over 15 inches and make your cut, or you can come over 11 inches and cut it this way. So I'm trying to get the best out of all these lining fabrics. So I have my fabric folded in half on here. This is where your template comes into play. Just going to lay it on here, and I am going to cut my template out right here. So I'm going to line my ruler up at the edge of my template, and this is how you will get your lining fabric. So come to here, and then I'm going to turn my ruler, line it up here. This makes it so easy. That's why I have you guys cut a template, because it just takes a lot of the stress out of things. And once that's out, then that was all you needed from your lining fabric, because you don't really need anything else. That's why I said a half a yard, because if you want to make more than one bag, you'll get 2 bags out of your lining fabric. And again, you'll also get 2 bags of the whole thing if you swap now, having this as your focus and having this as your accent, if you had a half of a yard, because you'll still have some left. So let's just cut this template out now of my lining fabric, as I kind of rough cut it. I'm going to move myself around as I need to. And then you could either do like me to cut out your little 3-inch squares here, or you can draw them to cut them out. I just use my rotary cutter. Cut right there, line it up. I just come up a little bit, and this is where I said sharp scissors actually work, because you can use the scissors. But I've been making so many bags lately that I'm getting like the perfect cuts every time without going too far into my piece. Like I could even do it without it, just like that. And you'll get the 3-inch squares out of the bottom right here. So here we have the lining fabric now, and you should have 2 pieces. Wasn't that simple? So this is 15 by 11 with 2 3-inch cutouts at the bottom. Okay, so there's my lining all ready to go. Just needs a good press, which I'm going to do because I'm right here. All right, so here's my lining. And here is all of my bag pieces. Okay, look at that. There's all the pieces so far. Now that I have all these cut, we're going to go ahead and cut other stuff now. Now we are going to cut some interfacing. Like I said, for this I'm using the 911 fusible featherweight interfacing, but you can use heat and bond, which is going to be a lot thicker, but I'm out of it now, so I can just show you. It's really, really thick. If you are not using foam in your bag, this is what I would recommend, is this or thicker. So this is the heat and bond. It's pretty darn thick. But because I'm using foam, I'm just going to be using the featherweight, the 911. And if you are not using foam, also you need a really, you can use flannel, or because they have fusible flannel, or you can use some batting. This is a really thick batting. These are the ones I'm using on the smaller bags with fleece, or no, with felt. So this and felt and stabilizer was making the other bags stay up very, very nicely. But I'm using foam, so go out, grab what you need for those, for the thing. Like I said, I'm using foam, but I'm going to cut my interfacing now. So this right here should fit perfectly on here with just a little tiny, tiny bit left over. So we're going to cut out 2 templates worth of the interfacing. And this is why I said that the templates come in handy, because it helps with cutting every other part of this whole entire process. And I'm missing comments. I know I am, but I'm trying not to skip a step, so I'm just kind of going through all the steps, especially for those that are following along. All right, so that's that. And again, if you need to, you can also just fold this in half to get your 3-inch cut by lining your ruler up, because sometimes if it doesn't work the other way, this way works just as well. So you can mark on it like that, and then use your sharp scissors like this to cut out your interfacing, and it is at the open of the fold, not at the fold. So I saved these little pieces for bags to put in the metal clips, but here's some interfacing for one side. Now let's cut a second one. So we're going to line this up. It should be nice and straight. Use your template as the guide. This is why I had you guys make templates. It makes it so much easier to make these bags if you have templates. So here's number 2. And again, you can do the same thing. Just fold it in half. Mark your 3-inch square down. If you're using a pin, then you need to back the piece away just a little bit. And use some scissors to cut it out. Oops, that shifted just a little bit. Try not to let it shift. That's why I said you needed some sharp scissors. And then after I cut this, before I cut the foam, I'll read some comments. now I have two interfacings cut out. These are the iron in. So one side is nice and soft. This one's the rough side. One side is so super soft. So make sure when you go to do this that you do this correctly, because or else you're going to mess that up and ruin your iron. But do not put your interfacing away just yet, because now we're going to cut some more pieces off of it. So now we're going to come over and cut 2-inch strips off of here. So there's one. We're cutting 2-inch strips off of our interfacing. We're going to cut 4 of them. Actually, we're going to cut 3. Why was I thinking 4? Because I was using a different size earlier. Just going to cut 3 of them. And this is going to be for our handles. So we'll need 1.5 for the handles. So I'm just going to put that aside. And now I'm done with the interfacing. And before I get to the foam, which I'm going to bring over here now for those that have never seen, this is foam. This is the Pellon FF78 F1 iron in. This is the iron in foam stabilizer. So it is the FF78 F1. And you can get the FF77, which is a little bit thinner than this. The 7.8 is a little bit thicker than the 7.7. It doesn't matter, they're all about the same to me. So just know that you can get that. And I am going to sit here and read a comment for a second. I need to sit, my legs are killing me from standing, but I cannot sit and cut at the same time. I'm probably missing a whole heck of a lot, but I kind of knew this would happen because I'm really trying to show you guys how this is going. Thinking of sending her some of my Tula to make me another one. Let's see. I'll show you guys all that stuff in a little while. Let's get this bag made and try not to be on here forever. So I'm giving you guys a chance to cut all your pieces out. For those that are still cutting, again, your first cut from your focal print, your focus print, is 9.5 inches. Then you're going to subcut that into 9.5 by 11 inches. So you'll get 2 pieces of that. And then that second leftover piece is 9.5 by 10.5. And then you'll fold that out of the way so you don't get that confused with your 11-inch piece. Then your third cut from your accent print, so we moved to the accent print, is a 3.5-inch strip. Subcut that into 4 8-inch pieces by 3.5 by 8 inch. And then the leftover from that, cut out a 1.5 inch by the length of what's left over, and then split that in half for your zipper tabs. And then your sixth cut, again from your accent, is a 4-inch strip. And then you're going to take your selvage off and cut that into 2 equal pieces, which should be 21.5 inches left if you have the right size fabric. If not, anything that I do, make sure you cut all the way up to your fold if your fabric does not meet those lengths. I'm just kind of scrolling through. You guys are talking to each other, which is awesome. Thank you. I'll start the bidding. Yeah, Scott went to the grocery store. He does every Sunday. You may have to auction them off. Well, wait until you guys see them, because none of you know what they look like except for a select few of you, which are YouTubers. So you guys know. You guys know what they look like because you were kind of keeping my brain all together. Let's see. Yeah, wait until you see. Okay. I'm just kind of scrolling through. We got Kim here. I don't see any other names that have Ellen's here. I'm probably missing a ton of you. So welcome to everybody that's here, because there's 63 of you here. Cheryl's here. Kathleen's here. Beverly's here. Sylvie is here. See, I'm not missing all of you now. I'm catching up. Okay. All right. So now let's cut the foam. Now this is the easy part. The foam is actually really easy to do. Your foam should be 20 inches, just like ever so, like 20 and an eighth. Should be 20 inches. We are going to lay the template on here just so that we can have the 15-inch across from the foam. And if you're using batting, felt, or any of that kind of stuff, you're going to be quilting, so cut it better than your top piece is going to end up, because that way you have room to quilt, and then you can trim it away to the size of your template. So again, if you're not using foam and you're using quilting cotton batting, or you're using whatever to make it more thicker, just make sure you cut your batting and or felt or whatever larger than, so that you can do the quilting process. I am cutting my foam to the size of this template, and we're going to come straight across, and look at, that's all I need, which it's going quick. Just know that foam goes fast, very fast. Now this is the easy part with the foam. You're like, oh wow, that's totally not enough. See, it's not. But the foam actually has to be smaller than your template, okay? So this is the perfect size, because your pattern, your template is 11 inches tall, okay? This is 20 inches wide. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold the foam in half. It folds nicely. Fold it in half, and we're going to take a marker and draw a line in that half point, and then draw a line on the other half point. So you'll end up with a mark here and a mark here. That's good. You know why? Because this makes this process so much easier. Now you're just going to line up those lines that you drew exactly in half on your foam. Cut it. And your pieces are pretty much ready, except for the fact that you need to lay your pattern piece on here. And you are going to cut away. Okay, this is hard. I got to explain this. So here's your template. We're going to face this towards you. I'm going to scoot this template up so that it is equal. Leftover hanging on this side and leftover hanging on this side. So let's put it under so that you can see. See, I'm hoping you can see. My template now has the foam here and here and here. So I have hangover at the top and the bottom equally, and at the side equally. So if I turn this back over, I'm hoping that you guys understand this, for those that have never used foam before. Once you have it laid equally, sticking out, not fully a half an inch. We don't want to take fully a half an inch off on the sides. So we're going to lay this out. We're going to go ahead. We're going to trim this off right here, just the side. So if I put it back together, nope, that's too close. We'll cut off just a little bit more on that side. Probably cutting off, I don't know, half an inch in total. All right, let's try that again. Now it should be equal. All right, so see, my paper should be sticking out equally now. So technically this is 14 now. What is it? 14 and a quarter, okay? I just want to make sure I give you guys, so we're at 14 and a quarter now. So like I said, it's not fully a half inch that I took off. So 14 and a quarter wide by 10 tall, because that's how, when it was folded in half, we got it. And now we're still going to cut out those exact 3-inch corners. Why? And you're like, really? Seriously? We're still going to cut them out. So I'm just going to use my template to draw on here. So I have a 3-inch corner still being taken out of this side. And I'm going to line the template up on this side and still cut out my 3-inch on here, because in this little crevice, we are also going to need this to line up. So now that that is cut out, or drawn, we're going to cut it out on the line. And you're going to see why we did it this way, because this is foam. and it takes up a lot of space in these bags. So I took out my corners. Now if I lay it right here, can you see on my piece of paper? My paper sticks out here. Can you see that? And it sticks out here on the side, it sticks out here on the side, here, on this side, on this side, and on the top, okay? So we want it to stick out. So again, this is about 14¼ by 10 inch because it was only folded in half, and I still took out my 3-inch corners, okay? That way I have room to sew all of it together properly. So once you have one cut, it makes it so much easier to just lay that piece on top of the other one, like this. Come over here and cut that off, and then use it to draw your lines like this, so that you can cut out again those next pieces. So once you make piece one, the other two come together easily because you can just use one for the template for number 2, and or multiple bags, which is what I've been doing. Okay, so there's that. And I'm actually not throwing these foam squares away because I actually have a idea with them, but I am throwing away all this stuff because I don't really need it. So there, now we have 2 matching foam pieces. That means every single thing is now cut out and ready for our bag. So now it's time to move the camera, and I'll read comments. So we're gonna bring all of our bag stuff over here so that you can see. And here's the bag that we're making, just so that you can see. Here's the bag. I'm going to move the camera now. Remember, bear with me. We're going to do some ironing first because it's the iron prep. And I'm unplugging the sound for now. You guys should still be able to hear me. All right. We're going to come over here and iron now. We're going to prep all the things that need to be ironed. So now you guys are at the side of me. Hi, Cherie. Who else is here? Hi, Kathy. Am I missing anybody else? Everyone's saying hi. Okay. All right, let's go on to the next step. I gotta grab all these pieces. So I'm gonna grab everything but, okay, I do not need the bag focus print for the front or those 3.5 by 8-inch pieces. Those we're going to keep over here because those need to be sewn. But we are going to bring over the long strips that we cut of interfacing, then our straps, which are 4-inch by 21.5, and then our 2 pockets. And I don't know what happened, but I dropped a tab somewhere around here. Where did it land? Where did it land? If you drop it, make sure you find it. Okay, up there it is. It's stuck to my interfacing. Look at that. All right, so you need your pockets, which you folded in half so that you don't get them mixed up, and then your 2 strap pieces. So now that we have the iron started, let's start with the pocket prep. For you guys, the angle that you're looking at, this is 9.5 by 10.5. We're going to take right here on the side, the long 10.5-inch side, and we're going to fold this up about 1/4 inch, like this. There's no perfection to this, honestly. It just happens how it happens. I'm going to fold this up like this. And I'm going to iron that down. And then I'm going to come over here to the other side. Remember, this is wrong side up. And now I'm going to fold this one about 1/4 inch in. Like I said, this is a very easy to make bag. You guys are going to love how this goes together. Okay, now that those are together, before I fold it back in half, we're going to do the same with the second pocket piece. And this is how I make sure that everything ends up equal. I start by folding one side and ironing it. It's very easy to do. You just kind of run your iron along it. And that second piece, once it's ironed in half, I line it up with the first pocket. That way both of them end up equal. So I get that next one ready to where they both end up equal. So I have two matching pockets. Yeah. So now they're both the same width. See that? They both come to the same spot. Once those are done, just going to fold it in half like this to where it matches on the ends. And give it a good press like this. And we're going to take this next one again. We're just folding it onto itself so that it's right side out, keeping those little folds that you did nice. Oops, that one tried to fold out on me. You got to make sure that that don't happen. Lining it up, giving it a nice good crease, just like that. Oops, don't let it shift because it's going to want to try to do that. All right, and there's that. So here's my two pocket pieces. We're going to throw those over at the sewing area, and we'll get to those when we start sewing. All right, now for your zipper tabs, take them and in the long way, just fold in one end. I'm doing my zipper tabs a lot different because I've noticed that if I did it the fold and sew way, they 100% end up way too thick. So I just fold it in each end like that. And these ones, it really doesn't matter as long as I have enough length. And then I'm going to fold it exactly in half like that. So you get a piece that looks like this, folded in half, so where your right sides are hanging out. As long as it's about this length, that's a perfect length. It doesn't really matter how far in you fold it, as long as you don't have a ton of fabric built up in there, because there's going to be a zipper in here, which in turn makes it even more thicker, and definitely does not lay nicely in the bag. All right, so here's my two zipper tabs. Okay, I'm going to move those out of the way over to the sewing area. And now we're going to do the straps. Flip them right side down, like this, or wrong side up. Make sure you guys are seeing this. Okay, you guys are seeing it good. I'm going to start by ironing them first because they weren't very flat to begin with. Add some steam. Okay, we're going to fold in one end about 1/4 of an inch. And then go on to the next piece, fold it in about 1/4 of an inch. Again, we're just making them to where they are exactly the same size. This is why you get as much length as you possibly can when you cut these. So now these are lined up perfectly. Now I'm going to come over to this end and fold these in about 1/4 of an inch. If it doesn't exactly end up 1/4 of an inch, that is okay. I'm just going to line it up. Don't burn your fingers. I seem to have a bad habit of doing that. And fold that in. Now both these pieces are exactly the same length, even if the fold is more than it is on one side or the other. Now, one at a time, fold them in half onto each other. Line it up all the way down. Do the same with the second strap. Line it up all the way down. I totally have been making bags with music blasting all week, and now I feel like it's weird not having music playing. Now I'm going to take one edge and fold it into that line, just like this. And I'm going to use the iron, folding it in to that line, just like this. And I'm going to take this next side and fold it in to that line as well. If you need to flip the piece over, go ahead and do that. That way it's facing you, if it makes it easier. To me, it's the same either way. And you'll notice there's a slight gap in the middle. That is okay, because we are going to open this up like that. And we're going to take our interfacing and we're going to put it glue side down. Trust me, I've made my mistakes this week. Glue side down. We're going to line the one piece in there. It should be 2 inches, so it should fit perfectly. And then we're going to grab that second piece, because remember we only cut 3. We're going to put one end in, because they don't make interfacing unless you're cutting in length. The length that you need. All right, and lay that other one in. They are glue side down. I'm just going to go ahead and fold all this on top of it and use the iron to set it. So I'm just going to fold it with my hands like this, using the iron to set it all the way. And now that original first fold, we're going to go ahead and fold it on that. So you'll end up with a 1-inch strap, but it's now very thick because you have some interfacing in here, or stabilizer, whatever you guys want to call it. There's so many words for it. I'm going to steam it so it lays nice and flat as best as. If you want to clip it to lay it over at your sewing area, be my guest, but I'm just going to lay it like that. So let's repeat it and show you one more time. We folded in the ends, we folded it in half. We're folding 1/2 in to the middle. I'm going to go along that with the iron. And like I said, if you need to, you can just flip the whole piece over if you like it coming towards you, because it might make it easier for some people. Then you can do it that way. We're going to fold this in, folding it in like that. Open the whole piece up like this. Take that long piece in, put it glue side down, because if you don't, you're going to ruin your iron. Grab that next leftover piece from the last one, line it up to one end, and then cut it to size like that. So all I did was cut the interface, and now we're going to seal everything back up. So I'm holding down one end like this, and I'm just bringing them with my fingers. I'm using my fingers to bring it all into the middle, letting the iron heat up the stabilizer. Just like this. Now it's in there. Now fold it in half. And press it. As long as your 2 ends are meeting, it should meet really nicely. Some of you might notice the fabric will stretch a little bit in the process of doing all this. And it's also going to be super hot if you steam it. So there is strap number 2. Fold in half. If you want to put some pins to hold these together, be my guest. I don't really do it. I just leave them open like that. And now we're going to move over to the sewing machine. And this is the part where I don't know how this is going to work with you guys, but we're going to attempt to make it work. So let me put my camera holder down on the desk. Give me 2 seconds to move the camera. It's where it's in a nice view for you guys. All right, come on. Okay. We're going to put the camera into another clip. So turn your head for 2 seconds so that you guys don't get all wiggled and wobbled. Oh, let's hope that this works. Come on, come on. Get in the hole. There we go. Oh, that's not going to work right here. All right, we're going to do the unplug it process for this seam, I guess. All right, now we're at the sewing machine. I'm hoping that you guys don't vibrate and wiggle too much, but you guys really, really wanted to see all this. Okay. We are going to check some comments real quick, because I'm totally missing tons of comments, I think. I'm scrolling. I knew that was going to happen. Sorry. See? I knew it. This isn't a very good holder. Let's try it right here. I really need to get some new camera holdy stuff. Let's see how long it stays. If not, I have to put it back into the other holder. All right. I'm just reading comments real quick. It's okay, double-sided. Is it, okay, so is it double-sided fusible? No, single-sided. Had to leave and come back, so description at the end of video would be great. Yeah, I will put that in there, Mary. And for all of you curious, see, I knew it was going to happen. All right, let's take it out of this stupid holder. Put it back in the other one because that was not going to work. Sorry, don't mind that I told you guys today's video was going to have wiggling. I can't help it. I don't have the best camera stuff. All right. Let's see. Oh. I'm just kind of scrolling quickly through the comments. You guys are pretty much keeping up with each other. Thank you, Teresa, for putting in the link. So if you guys are in the Facebook group, if you're doing these, or if you do it after the video, that's no big deal. I don't care if you're doing it while or after. Please share it in the group. I like to see what you guys have made, even if it's not if you're just making a regular quilt or something. Hi, Robin. Let's see who else is here. There's amazing. Okay, I see that. What is the finished width of the strap is 1 inch. So the strap is 1 inch now by, it should be 21 inches. So this is just shy of 21. It is 20 and 3/4 in total because my folding wasn't perfect, but it should be 1 inch by the same. Both of them should be exactly the same, and they should be 20 inches or longer. Because you don't want them to drag when the bag hangs down itself. All right, let's put this out of the way now. Hi, Regina. All right, so we're going to start with, okay, here's the folded pocket. Folded pocket. We have 2 folded pockets. Oh, we also need to switch thread out because I just realized that I have the wrong thread color in here. Okay, so here's my thread color. You guys get to get a 100%. You might be too low. If you want, I can higher it just a little bit. Let me grab my hiring box. Make this taller. Wherever, oh, there it is. All right, here we go. This should be better now in height to see. There we go. It doesn't stay very well with this cord in it. Oy. No. Come on, I need something that's going to hold this still. I knew I was going to have camera difficulties today. Stay. All right. Let me switch my thread out real quick. It's a good thing I already have a bobbin somewhere right there. Should have done this in advance. Now you guys get to see how dirty my machine is in there. Because I have been making bags and it is dirty. You see that? Look at all that dirt. Okay. Yeah, Juki has been screaming at me to be washed and cleaned and beautified, but unfortunately I cannot at the moment because I'm making so many bags that it's just going to get super filthy again. Just threading my machine real quick. Just takes a minute. I'm really going to struggle at trying to put this in. Oh, maybe not. Oh, yes, I am. All right. Having issues today. Just like the same as every day. All right. Here we go. for the pockets, we're going to start with the pockets. Now, right now they are folded in half. Okay, we're going to turn them wrong sides or right sides together now. Keeping those folds, see how the folds stick out on both sides? We're just going to line these up and line up this whole entire bottom. You can use pins if you want, but I don't really think I need to. We're going to line this up. We're going to sew a 1/4 inch all the way from one side to the other. So here's one. It looks like this. So it has a 1/4 inch seam all the way down, and you have yourself a tube. Okay, just leave it like that and throw it over at the ironing board. Grab the next pocket. Hi Delilah, hi Charlotte. We're going to fold that right sides together. Don't mind your fold from creasing it, just don't worry about that. It'll come in handy when we go to press again. We're going to line these two ends up. Make sure that they're exact. Right there. We're going to sew a 1/4 inch on this. Line these two, hold them together. Sew a 1/4 inch seam. If the machine is too loud, let me know because I'll put the microphone back in. So now again, we have another tube. You can stick your arm in it. You have a nice up backwards tube. Let's just put these aside for now because we're going to take them to the iron, all of this stuff at the same exact time. The next thing we are going to grab is our 4 8-inch by 3.5 inch pieces. Okay, so there's 4 of those. Grab all 4 of those, and the 2 9.5 by 11 inch pieces, and we're going to do one at a time. So take one of the 9.5 by 11 inch pieces and lay it here. We're going to take one of these 3.5 by 8 inch pieces, so it's 8 inch by 3.5, and we're going to put this right sides together on the long side. So the long side is the 11 inch side. So that 11 inch side, you're going to line this up with the top of this side right here, and you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam down this piece. Okay, and now you're going to take another one, flip the piece around like this. We're going to take that other piece and we're going to line that up again at this top. So we're actually going to start where it's hanging off. So we're going to line this up like that at the end. I'm going to come over here. We're going to line this down so we're sewing with it hanging off right here. Sew a 1/4 inch, holding this top so this top stays nice and straight. Okay, and what you should have when it's together is a piece that looks like your template. Okay, so I'm just going to throw that piece out of the way so that we can grab the next one. Again, do not sew it on your 9.5 inch sides like this. You need to sew it on the 11 inch long side. So have the 9.5 at your belly or at the top of your machine, and your 11.5 is what's coming down. 11 inches is what's coming down. So again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line that long 8 inches down this way, line up the top, and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam all the way down this, break thread, turn the piece around, take your other right sides together, your other 3.5 by 8 inch piece, and lay it along this top piece right here, so it's going to stick out. And if you want to put a pin in it, you can, so that it doesn't shift. I just hold mine down with my hand. And so your 1/4 inch seam, just like that. So now again, a second piece that looks just like my template. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to go over to the iron again, because now we need to take this piece and the 2 pocket pieces over to the iron and iron them. So here goes the movement, just pre-warning you. Here we go at the iron again. Why does this not want to stay? It just kind of keeps turning. I have it as tight as possible. Oh, I really hate this. Sorry, guys. I'm really not trying to throw you all off, but I have no other options. Now you know why I hate making videos like that are not live. All right, we're going to take this and make sure that our iron is on. We're going to have this with the seam facing up. I'm just going to press it open with my fingers. Okay, and then once it's pressed with my finger, I'm going to grab it and flip it through like this. And we're going to take this end right here. Since I finger pressed it, it should lay nice and flat right here. We're going to put that together like this, and your top fold should still be there. Okay, so all you need to do is run your iron along that bottom, just like that. So now here's a tube just facing the opposite way. Okay, so you should have a nice seam along the bottom. So again, you can press this if you want to with the iron, but I really just goes so much easier if you just kind of make that seam open up just a little bit and then pull it through. That way it has a better way to lay flat at that seam, you know. So turn it all the way around, just grab it at that seam. It should lay nice and flat. Lay it down, pulling it out so that it's flat on top of each other, just like this. Oops, that little piece wanted to fold out. And your top should still line up. Add some steam. So here's pocket tube number 2. Okay, so simple. Now take these, and this is really easy. Just slide it over like that. Grab this one, press it out, add some steam, make sure everything's nice and flat. Okay, take this one, same thing. Press them back, press them back. Now I'm going to flip it over, wrong side up, both pieces, so that you guys can see this. So I have them flipped over, wrong side up, and now I'm going to grab my interfacing, and I'm going to put it glue side down. Make sure you put this glue side down. You're going to center it because your outer pieces are longer, and I did that on purpose because we're going to have shifting when it comes to the quilting part. You don't have to quilt yours if, but I choose to. So I'm going to center this interfacing in here, so I should have an equal amount on both sides, just like this. Just going to lay my iron on here for a few seconds in a couple spots. This makes it so much easier if you just do it like this first, and then grab the whole thing, flip it over, and press from the correct side. Add lots of steam, and your interfacing or fusible or whatever you're using should be on there nice and not come off. So here it is. It's on here really good. And now we're going to repeat that step with the next one. I'm just going to go ahead and move this out of the way to this side because I'm still not done with it. All right, glue side down again. Make sure that glue, so you can feel it. It's rough. And this side's smooth. So you can't hear my fingernails? Can hear my fingernails. Make sure you have that glue side down. Make sure everything's nice and flat. Center it on here, because you're going to have a little bit sticking out right here and a little bit sticking out on both sides. Just take your iron on top of it for just a second. Usually they need like 3 to 5 seconds depending on what brand you're using. But flip it over and then really heat it up like this. Now, like I said, use a thicker stabilizer if you are going to be not using foam. All right, so this is now on here. I'm going to slide this one over because it's still hot, and I want my foam to stick. So now we're going to leave this facing up. Make sure there's nothing on it, on both pieces, you know, because you can get little threads and stuff stuck on it. We are going to grab a piece of foam. Mine is fusible. Sew-in foam, I can tell you right now from experience, the sew-in foam does not work as well because you're going to lose a lot of inch. Let me tell you. The fusible foam fuses to the fabric first and then you quilt it. You won't lose as much in your length and width. But if you're using sew-in, you're going to lose your length and width by more than an inch almost, okay? So now we're going to put this glue side down, and if you're quilting, go ahead and get your quilting done on these. And I am going to center my foam all the way around, so I have the same amount equally all the way around. And now I'm just going to heat it up. I use lots of steam. It heats it up really nicely. Flip it over and finish. Just know that foam has a really weird smell to it. I don't like it, but I don't know if it's the glue on it or what, but it's on there, see? So now I have foam. It is 100% glued on here. Let's do the second one. Let's bring this over. Again, make sure that there's no little threads in there. We're going to put the glue. You can hear that? That's the glue side. That's the soft side. We're going to put it glue side down. We're going to stop on the bottom and in my area, and we're going to heat this up. Yeah, I don't know what it is about the sew-in foam, but sew-in foam did not do good on the first two attempts with it. It lost a lot of size. I mean, which is okay, but all right. So now I have my foam in my second piece. Everything's nice. Nothing's messed up. Look at that. So now my pieces are done for this. And now we're going to see, so here's my front of my bag, back of my bag. Now we're going to move the camera again. I'll give you guys a second because I'm going to clean up my mess here and move all these pieces out of the way to get to the next step. All right. We need to assemble the zipper, which I put somewhere around here. So while you guys are facing the iron, I'm going to find my zipper. It's somewhere. Don't know where. I don't know how I do this. I lose everything. It had to have fallen somewhere. Aha! It fell on the floor. Alright, let's move you guys. Ready, aim, fire. Okay, we're over here. So, we're going to grab the zipper. And I'm going to do this off camera, but I'm going to open my zipper just a little bit, and I'm going to sew across here to keep that closed. So you can see, I'm just going to sew that real quick behind you because I'm on the camera. I'm going to show you, I'll turn the camera when I sew the rest of everything, but let me just sew this closed real quick so that you guys understand what I'm talking about. If you want to press your zipper, now would be a good time, which I'm going to do, is seems to be a little wrinkled from being moved around so much. And yes, just be very careful if you can press a zipper. If you're using a metal zipper, just watch it on your, or put a cloth over it so that your iron doesn't get scratched up, but these are not. So I'm going to open this just a little bit. Okay. We're going to grab a couple clips, and I'm going to take this open side. If you've never done a zipper before, I'm going to lay this in here. So here's those little metal pieces. I want those away from where I'm going to sew. So I'm going to lay this in here like this. Just going to center it in there. It's no big deal. It is oversized for now. That helps with the sewing part. And I am going to put a clip on each side for now because I'm going to be sewing across this, and I want to show you guys that. So I'm just going to leave that right there for a second, and I am going to find my template. And we're going to line this up on the template. So can you see over here? It's sticking out like that. I want to bring it in just a little bit, but I want some of it still sticking out because I'm not using this full piece. And I am going to take a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut away this side of the zipper that's closest to you guys. So about right there. So I just cut off this much. I was using like an 18-inch zipper. So, and now I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to take this open side. I'm going to put the folds over this zipper like this. And I'm going to make sure that I have an equal amount on both sides. I'm going to back that up a little bit. And I'm going to clip this on here. And now we're going to take this over to the machine and we're going to sew this side on and that side on. And I used my template to make sure that I have it the perfect size. It's okay if it sticks out. We want that for now. Okay? So let's turn the camera around. Let's go this way. Tip you up a little bit. Oh, come on, you stupid thing. This is going to be one dumb video with all this movement. I don't know why, but it just does. It moves too much. Just barely touching it and it moves. And just a little bit. I definitely need a better holder. I'm buying bag supplies instead of holders. All right. So now, before I change out my foot, I'm going to just move these pins. Flip it right side the proper way. Line these back up. I didn't move anything really because I'm holding the zipper the whole time. And now I'm going to sew across this right here with an 1/8 of an inch seam right along the edge. So I'm sewn right here. So you see that? And now I, for decorative purposes, take a second stitch all the way across. So I get 2 lines about an 1/8 of an inch apart right there. And that one is done. Now I'm going to come over to this side. Just going to remove my pin. Going to put this on there. Move the other pin and stitch across that. And come back again. I like the second stitch because it not only decorative, but it really puts this on here nice and good and the zipper is not going anywhere. So now my zipper tabs are attached. And now for the next part. So I'm going to move the zipper out of the way for now. We're going to change out to a walking foot because we don't want any twisting or pulling or funky movements of our next steps. Hi, Teresa. I'm trying to see, I have to go get over my fear of zippers. Well, they're not horrible to work with. Now, I just recently from somebody sent me some zipper tape with zippers. That's my first time ever attaching a zipper end. I did one bag with it. Oh my God. I think I did it all wrong because I don't know. I don't know how to attach the end thing, so I've been watching videos to do my zippers correctly. All right. We're going to come over here and grab a strap. Yes, pretty much. Sewing a tab onto the end secures it, yes. And I make mine oversized because they're going to sit in the bag. Let me grab the bag so you can see why I just sewed those on. So these pieces that I just put on, these zipper tabs, and I did mine differently. If you would have done it the sew where you sew all the way around and have all those extra seams in there, it would have been really thick on the ends. I don't want that. There are a lot of people that do their zipper tabs like that where they sew make it like a sew all the way around and then flip it right side out and then attach it. But I find that all that extra seams on the ends just makes it too much and too thick. The reason for that is because these are going right here. These on the bag end up in this spot. So see that? This zipper tab becomes this, and the thicker this is right here, the harder it's going to be for you to poke that out with any kind of tool. So you want to make sure that you're putting it on just like I showed you. Fold it in half and slide it on. You'll have this opening. You can actually cut away all this excess zipper, which I should have told you guys. Anything that's extra, I cut away because I don't want all that fullness to end up under there, because then it makes it a lot harder for that bag to lay flat. So if you have excess zipper in there and you think it's going to get in the way, trim it down to where it's like 1/4 of an inch worth sticking out, because now it's sewn. That zipper is not coming off on either end. It stops. See, it's not going to go anywhere. So make sure that you do that. We will be trimming it down. Obviously this is wide, but I do that on purpose just so that it's sewn down for now. So that's how that works. Those little zipper tabs are going to end up in those spots. All right, now let's get to this next part without throwing and breaking everything in my room. And I know, I'm sorry guys, I'm missing people coming in and I'm missing comments, but I'm trying to make sure that I get all the directions said and done and taken care of, because or else this is going to be a 5-hour long video, and we didn't want a 5-hour long. So Sunday, because I do my movie night with my husband. So, all right, we're going to get to this strap. So here's one strap. So see how it kind of turned itself sticking out like that? It's very easy to fix. Just take your finger on this rolled edge right here and kind of roll it in and then put it back into itself. It just happens sometimes. It's not your fault. It's not a pressing error. You're just going to fold so that way both top and bottom are flush. And what we're going to do is, I know that this is going to get loud, and I probably should have the thingy in here, but we're going to line this up. I'm going to have my open side facing down towards me to start. So I'm starting 1/8 of an inch in from one end with the open side facing towards me. I'm going to back stitch right here. I'm going to come in and I'm going to stop right here at this, about 1/8 of an inch away from this edge. I'm going to lift this, turn the whole entire thing. Now, if I'm too fast for you, I'll do the next one slow, but I'm going to show you something. I'm going to put this down, take a back stitch. I'm going to lay this down towards me like this, and I'm going to stick one hand right here and my first finger on the opposite side. So my 3 fingers are on one side of this being a guide, and my first finger is the guide on this side so that nothing bows that way. And I am just going to watch my fingers. My whole hand is literally holding this down the edge at 1/8 of an inch. And then when you get to the end, you slow down, make sure nothing's sticking out. I always back stitch it on these, flip it like this, back stitch, one more stitch that way, and I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to put 3 fingers on one side, 1 finger on the other, and the palm of my hand is kind of slowing this from coming into me really, really fast, but my fingers are holding it. So that my piece don't move, shift, or anything. And when I get to the end, I use my finger, and then I the edge and just snip away any excess threads, so that I have a stitch, look at that, 1/8 of an inch away on both sides, all the way down, sealing in my raw, well, almost raw edge of my handle. Okay, so let's do the next one slow so that you can see. I'm still going to do the same finger thing, but I'm going to attempt to be slower at this. I'm starting at the folded end, so the open end faces towards me. Come to the end, right there, 1/8 of an inch away. We're going to go slow. When I go slow, my fingers are not on each side like that. Well, they are, but sometimes I put them on top, as long as my first finger is stopping this piece from going that way, because slow seems to be different for me than fast. You just go slow, 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. You can take your time. I'm trying to go slow. And I have a fold here, so before I get to that, I'm going to shove that in just a little bit. Just folding that little fold that I made when I creased the whole thing in the first place. In more. Come to the edge, back stitch. We're at 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. Turn the piece, back stitch, back stitch. Plus it allows you to see where your needle is going to land. And run all the way down this side. this very nicely. And when I get to the end, you just need one finger. Don't let it move. And I come off the end quite a bit because that way I have something to snip off, or else you're trying to snip it right next to the fabric. So there it is again. If I would have used the other foot, see how this is kind of twisting a little? If I would have used the other foot, it would have been even more. It would have been like this, you know? But this is a lot flatter using the walking foot. So just letting you know. And then I just press them. They usually stay after you press them. All right, let's grab the next part. Now, if you guys had made your tops and quilted them, that's the next part for this. I'm going to grab this top piece. And I would love to be able to show you guys how I've been marking everything. Oops, don't wiggle. All right, so I'm using my ruler. It's 15 inches, but it sticks out just a little bit. I just go ahead and I line up between the 3 and the 12, which is between these two lines right here, you know, the seam lines. And I'm lining this up, and I'm finding my middle like this. So I just use my fingers to walk across, and then I use my what is it called, friction pin, and I'm marking this. And then what I will do, and I better lift this so I can slide this under here. I'm going to mark, so it usually ends up about with this line right here, this 1/2 inch line right here. This is how I'm quilting mine, just so you guys know. And it's going to get really loud in a minute because this quilting part is the loudest part. I just make a nice strong quilting line all the way down. And I should have did this on the table, but that's okay. Then I come over 2 inches and make another line. Come on. 2 inches over, make another line. And then I come over 2 inches on the opposite side of that and make another line. And those are the only, well, so far the middle lines that I need for my quilting. You can quilt this however you want. And then I line this about 1.25 inches. No, we'll do 1.5 inches away from here. Put that line in, and then come over to this side and do that same 1.5 inches on this side. Okay, and these are my quilting lines. So this one is marked. I'm going to mark the other one real quick. You can quilt it however you want. So I'm just going to line this up at 4.5 inches. Oops. I'm going to put my center, make my mark, come over 2 inches from that, make a mark. It would be better if you were not marking on your sewing machine table. Go 2 inches the opposite way. But however you can do it, that works for you. And then 1.5 inches from the side right here is where I want a marking. So this is the quilting part. We're quilting our bag top. And if you're using foam or not foam and you're using flannel, just make sure, or fleece or some kind of thick substance, make sure that your quilting does not shift your piece at all. That's why we use the stabilizer. So you don't want any shifting. Okay, and I have not had a problem with this specific friction pin right here. That's 07 Irritable Pilot friction ballpoint pin. I've not had any problem with this coming back with water or heat or cold or anything like that. So just thought I'd let you guys know. So I'm going to go ahead and quilt now. Did you need me to turn the microphone on, because this is going to get kind of loud for these? I'm going to quilt this pretty darn quick, or else we're going to be here forever. So I'm going to plug that in. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to start with my center crease. Come on. All right, here we go. And I'm going to change my stitch length to a 3. And the foam quilts quite nicely. And now I'm going to skip over to this right here, a 1/4 inch away from this fold. And then I'm going to do a 1/4 inch on the other side of that. And then I'm going to do that last line right here, this side. And that didn't even quilt. Did I lose my thread? Yes, I did. Why did I do that? I don't know. Sometimes I go too fast for myself. And I had little snips there. As soon as Scott gets here, he can like totally keep up with the comments, because when I'm really into something, it's really hard to stop and read without making this video too long. So let's make sure that I didn't run out of bobbin as well. Nope, I did not. So if you're using sew-in foam, then you are definitely going to have some size difference for your finished bag. I keep hitting that camera. I'm sorry for that. Now I'm going to just continue going this way. And one more to do on this side. Alright, so this is all I'm doing quilting wise on my piece. I'm going to take this over to the iron to heat away all these lines real quick, and then we'll do the second side. I just use the steam to get down in there because I quilted on top of what I drew. So now all those lines are now gone from the friction pin. I'm going to go on to the next piece. We're going to quilt this next one. So I'm just going to start right here. And I'm trying not to hit the camera. I'm so used to just going so quick. It makes that weird sound coming back over the feed dogs. Oh, stay. So again, I'm just making a bag for those that are joining. It was 3 half-yard fabrics, 3 different prints. All the cuts are in the beginning. And now I'm on the quilting part. I'm using foam in mine, but you can use whatever you desire in your bag. If it's your first bag and you don't know or don't wish to use foam, it's definitely a different experience using foam. But you can just do this with other products. Quilt it how you see fit. I find that there's just a couple lines in the whole entire bag has been the best. Work best, completely best this way. And one more. And again, I'm going to take it over to the iron. So this is my couple stitch lines. So I just did the 3 in the middle, 1 on each side of the seam, and then the 1.5 inch away, which is technically now 1 inch away. And I'm going to get rid of the heat, or use the heat to get rid of the lines real quick. I use the seam so it gets it out of the creases from where I just stitched. It helps quite a bit. And now we're going to turn the camera around for the next part. So let's go. I knew that was going to happen again. Stay right here. Now we're at the, we're going to start. I'm going to press these straps real quick so that they're really flat. Don't matter, but just a little bit of heat and they'll be flat. All right. We're going to start with one piece at a time. I'm going to move the template out of the way. We're going to grab the ruler. That's why I said using a 15-inch ruler is the best. So see now, before I started, it was bigger than 15 inches. I'm going to hold this so you can see. So when I started, it stuck out further beyond 15. Now it's almost exact. This is why I cut everything the way I did, because you will lose the sides. So if you are using sew-in foam, it's actually more than this. The bag will end up almost 14 inches at this point because of the foam, unless you do not sew in your sew-in foam and just sew around the edge of the whole entire thing right next to where you are going to be sewing this bag together. That is why I left those sides longer. If you guys noticed, when I put it together, I had 1/4 inch on each side. I left those purposely because this shrinks down. I learned with the first bag that I did in this, on the smaller one, because I did these on the smaller one with the 3 pieces, I learned that just leaving those sides, that's why my seam allowance is only 1/4 inch in here, and I lost my half obviously with these, but I left that extra 1/4 at the end. I did that on purpose so that you have the perfect lining. You want 15 inches at this point. So now that we're at 15 inches, we're going to come down from this top line to 1 3/4 inch. 1 3/4 inch. Okay, so if your ruler is now completely centered on here and it's a 15-inch ruler, you're going to come to your 11 and your 4, and you're going to make a mark. So I'm going to make a mark here at the 11 and here at the 4, and I probably won't even be able to see that. I can see it, you cannot. So I have a mark here at my 11 and 4, and now I'm going to grab some sewing clips. And we're going to grab one strap. We're going to take this strap and find the best side that you like down, so you can have your seam part facing in, or you can have your seam part facing out. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to center my strap on, I'm going to go in between the center of that. I'm going to center it on that line. It's typically 1/4 inch away from the end of your seam. And we are going to put a binding clip here. Put a binding clip here. Holding that there. And then we're going to make sure that there's no flips or folds. And we're going to line this side up. We're going to put a binding clip here. Let's center it a little bit better. There we go. Binding clip here. Binding clip here. Just like that. And then before I go and do anything, I'm going to take my littler ruler, and this is before I sew because I got to change out the foot anyway on the machine, is I'm going to come up, I'm going to line this inch mark on the edge of the strap. So this edge right here, I'm going to line this inch line up with that, and then I'm going to mark right here because I'm going to be sewing on that. Again, we're going to mark an inch mark right here. So I should have an inch all the way to the bottom of this, okay? So that one is ready to be sewn. We still have to switch the foot out. We're going to go ahead and repeat that same process one more time. So we're going to line the ruler up an 1 3/4 up. So 1 3/4 inch up, 1 3/4 inch up, center it, mark on my 11, and a mark on my 4, just like that. Grab the other strap, and since that one I did seam out, this one will be seam out as well. I'm going to center that right there. Grab 2 clips, clip it on, clip it on, grab 2 more clips. Make sure it's not folded. My seam is facing the outside. I center that there. Center this one here. So now my clips are holding it. Again, I'm going to line my other ruler up so I have 1 inch. I'm just going to mark a line at 1 inch from the bottom of the zipper, not from my stitch line, but from the bottom, not zipper, from the bottom of the strap, not from the stitch line. So it's 1 inch from the bottom. All right, so there's that. Let's change the foot out, and we are going to start sewing. So I'm going to turn the whole, I'm really turning this around and around and around today, guys. Playing the merry-go-round game. All right, let's take this off. The sucky part about the walking foot and the Juki is you actually have to take the whole entire screw out for this. It doesn't have a slide-in screw, which would, like the other machines do. So, because this doesn't have to come all the way off for the other feet, but only for the walking foot. All right. So here's the next part. So now we're at, I'm going to sew on this line. So that drawn 1 inch line, I'm going to start sewing in onto that. So we're going to line this needle up. We're going to sew in. I'm going to back stitch right here. And I still have it at 3 stitches per inch, but this way I can get these pins out of my way, or clips out of my way. So now that I got that, I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to go back and forward, and I'm going to stop in the seam. I'm going to turn the whole thing, snip away this, and I'm going to sew in that last seam that's on the strap so that I don't have a bunch of stitches. I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to stop at that next seam, turn the bag, go forward, back, forward, oops, stop in that stitch seam on the strap, and then forward, back. This is really held down because it's a bigger bag. I want a lot of stitches. Now I'm going to go from this corner down to this corner. So I'm going to come here, and Scott is here now so he can actually read comments.
Where you at? You at the bottom of them?
Yeah.
Do you even know where you're at?
No, you can just scroll all the way up until it stops allowing you to scroll up. So across the bottom to the next corner, and then sew from this corner up to this corner. I showed you guys with my other bags. Now we're going to go to the next one, just like that. So that one's done. We're going to sew on this line. So here, let me hold this up so you can see. I start on the line. So from one side to the other, back stitch. Come down when I get to this end again. Down on that seam, back stitch. All the way from one side to the other again. Come here, go this way, back again, and this way again, and then up, back down, back up again, and then from this, when you get to this last corner, you cross over here, go across the bottom, come up, and then back stitch, and you're done. So I'm just creating a thing. And if you're doing a different kind of strap, and you're using other pieces, then connect your strap ends the other way that you would want.
What was wrong with it?
I'm just staying in these stitch marks and attaching it this way because I don't have enough bag making pieces for any of that right now. So kind of low on supplies. So I said I gotta order bag stuff. So, but I kind of like these. They fit over the shoulder. They fit over the arm. They fit nicely. So that's a plus. So now I'm just gonna go across my back stitch. These are really held down handles. These handles are not going anywhere. Cross over. Turn it one more time.
Hello, everyone.
All right, so this one is on. So see my pattern here? I went from one side, down, over, up, across the bottom, and then across the top. And I back stitched in each area. So it looks clean. They're really, really on here. They are not going anywhere.
Yes, we've had fun playing Ring Around the Rosie. The girls loved that.
Yeah, we
play
play
in
stuff
the
like
pool
that all the
even.
time. All right, we're going to go on to the next handles. All right, so here we go. We're going to do this whole thing again. So as soon as I get this stitch line on here, I always take my clips away. That way they're not in my way the whole entire time. And I turn it. I snip away my starting thread every time. Forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. And this is why I say matching thread, because it makes it, it looks cleaner. I did on one bag use a variegated thread, so it looks actually really cool. It's all colorful.
He has a lot of really pretty bags. We're going to show you guys that.
Yeah, I have not discussed any of that yet.
Oh.
Just leave it out.
Okay.
Don't talk about things you don't know about yet.
Okay, sorry.
All right. So on the back stitch, land in my seam, take these, see how, now it's stuck because I forgot to remove it beforehand. I'm gonna get rid of that extra stitch. Sewing in that. Forward and back, that's all I'm doing. And if you're using foam, it's not really that hard to sew on, it's just something you gotta get used to. And some machines won't do it. So you just gotta be careful. All right, here's strap number 2. It's on there, it goes not going nowhere. All right, so we're gonna slide this out of the way. I'm gonna get rid of those lines, and then we're gonna turn the camera. And this is now the part where we, oh man, okay. We're gonna sew the pocket pieces. So I grabbed the pockets, okay? So we're gonna start by not the side that the seam is on, okay? We're gonna grab the side that the fold was on, and we're gonna sew down that 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. So just line it up nicely.
Tiffy, did you sew over the zipper earlier? Did you sew over the zipper? If so, does it have to be plastic, metal?
This is no, you cannot do it. You got to watch out for metal zipper. I don't have. Do I have one to show you guys?
It seems to be the only real question. So
Okay.
far. Other than that, everybody's talking and liking.
Hold on
and
2
commenting.
seconds while I find a metal zipper. If you have an old zipper like this, brass jean zipper, do not sew over brass jeans. And if you have an old metal zipper that looks like this, these are examples, by the way, that's metal like this, do not sew over these either. They will cut away with scissors, but once that needle hits this zipper, you do not want to see what happens to your machine. That needle will get stuck down in there. Then there are zippers that are colored like this. Let me pull this out. Then there are colored zippers like this, where it looks normal, but these are metal. These are metal zippers. You do not want to sew over these. And I think this is the brand that I broke a lot of zippers. But I had gotten a bunch of zippers from an elderly woman at one time in a big tub, and I tried to use all of them up, but some of them I just threw away because I'm never going to sew them. The best kind of zipper, the ends like this are metal, and the tips right here are metal, but these are like a plasticky mix type zipper. These you can sew right over, as well as the inset zippers, the hiding zippers is what I call them, where you can't see the zipper head on one side. These are like a plasticky type. I would have to actually like look up the real word for it, but yeah. And then the kind that I'm using now, these are not metal. They are like some kind of plastic of some sort. So yeah, just watch it. And then there's some that look metal, but they're not metal. I sewed over these, and these were fine. So that's like just the look of it.
Do you know what a bi?
They are silver metallic nylon Taylor Craft
Nylon,
silver black.
to Jim Bennett.
Yeah, nylon is what they're made out of. So yeah. And this is zipper by the yard. This I'm not used to yet, so that's why I'm not using it right now for this video.
Invisible zippers?
Yes. All right, so
do you know what a bi-any zipper is? They're saying
no idea.
bi-any zippers? No.
No idea. no
I
idea.
just went back down to the bottom.
All right, so now that's one pocket. It has a stitch, see, across that top, 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, not on the seam side. That's going to get done later. Now we're going to grab the second pocket and we're going to do that same exact stitch all the way across the top, 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Nice and clean stitches. And then I snip away any excess thread at this point. I'm also adding a tag to my bag, so give me 2 seconds to do my tag prep because I'm almost out of tags, dang it. Okay, I just gotta prep my tag real quick. Give me 2 seconds for that. Because I insert my tag now in the pocket, so you guys will see how I do that. All right, we're gonna turn the camera all the way around to the table this time. Okay, now we're at the table so that you guys can do this next part. Grab your lining. Make sure that your lining is face up, right side up. So that's the back side. This is right side up. We're going to work with one piece at a time for now. Here is your lining. We're going to come over to right there. That way you guys can see the whole thing. So here's my, you guys are sideways from it right now. We are going to line, this is 15 inches. We're going to line this 2 inches down, 2 inches down, okay? I'm also going to take this pocket and fold it in half and create just a little push on there, on the fabric, so that I have a center. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the center, my 8.5 or 7.5, depending on which way I'm reading the ruler. I'm gonna line that up just like that. And before I do any, oops, damn it. See, sorry guys, sorry. I'm telling you, I cannot do this camera. This is not gonna happen no more. I'm gonna get a different way to hold the camera up. Okay, stay. I need, where did it go? There it is. Before I pin this, I'm gonna mark a line. So here's my 7.5 or 8.5, whatever way you guys are reading it. It's centered on here, okay? 2 inches down, center. I'm gonna take my ruler, I'm gonna make a mark right here down the center of this pocket first. Then I'm going to put some pins in it all the way through into the backing. Just like that.
Annie is a website and a Facebook page. They sell bag patterns.
Oh, no, I have never done a bag Annie pattern. Okay, so this pocket is ready to sew, so I'm just going to go throw this over at the sewing machine while I grab the next one. Again, make sure that it's right side up. Line up the ruler at the 2 inches from the top edge, not from where these corners are cut out, from the top edge, 2 inches down. Grab this next pocket. I'm going to take this pocket and fold it in half to find my center. Set this pocket if you want to do the pin in the pocket. We're going to lay this on here. I'm going to line that center mark up, and then I'm going to hold it down while I adjust this right here over like that. And now I'm going to straighten that out and throw a pin in it. I'm adjusting it over about 1/4 inch. So I'm going to throw a pin right in here. I'm going to leave that there. Everything's still 2 inches down. I'm going to, now that that's staying in place, I'm going to grab the other side and I'm going to match it. So if this is sitting at the 11.5 mark, then this side is going to sit at the 3 3/4 inch mark. I'm going to slide this, come on, down to one side like that. Now let's make it right there, stay. Now I'm going to grab another pin. I should have had these next to me. Put my other pin in. Everything's still nice and straight, 2 inches from the top. And now I have this piece sticking up like this. I'm going to pinch over the bottom. See that? It's pinched over. And then I'm going to grab another pin and put it down there in my pinch so that it stays. Come on. Get in there. Okay? And now, before I do anything, I'm going to mark a line right here. Just going to follow along that edge. marking a line on this side of my ruler, the opposite side that you guys can see. So now I'm going to hold this so you can see. You should have, let's try to lay this on here, 2 inches down from the top, first, okay? Then move this in about 1/4 of an inch. Then this side, match that same amount on either side, and then shove most of the a little fold. Can you see that fold? So there's a fold. Create that little fold, put a pin in it. Make sure that this stays diagonal because we're going to sew right here on this line, creating our pin pocket right here, okay? So you guys are going to see me do that in a second. Let's do the other one first. Go with this whole camera crap. Definitely need something different. Okay, so we're going to start with this. I'm going to do. So I'm going to line it up 1/8 of an inch away from the edge right here on this side. And I'm going to back stitch right here at the top quite a few times. I want it nice and tacked down. And so 1/8 of an inch down. I'm going to come over the bottom. I'm going to come up to the right of this line, take 1 stitch over, and then I will be on the left side of that line. Stitch all the way down, come, stitch over, and then back up again. And I'm going to change my stitch length for this. I'm going to sew nice and slowly. I'm going to back stitch right here at the bottom too, because I think that adds a lot of, I don't know, just adds to the pocket for holding it. So I'm going to come right before that line, stitch before that line. I'm going to turn this. I'm going to come up to the one side of the line. And I'm going to back stitch at the top of it. Really good. Quite a few times. Then I'm going to turn it back this way and take along this top 1 stitch over. Just one stitch. That's it. Back stitch again, and sew the opposite side of that line that you drew all the way to the bottom. 1 more stitch.
What's the finished width of your strap?
1 inch.
Okay, there's a question that was asked long ago by Sherry Pickle.
Alright, and then I'm back stitching right
Sherry,
here.
the strap is 1 inch.
I think I answered a lot of those.
Okay.
I tried to stop and read, but it kind of got hard. Back stitch. So now it's back stitch. So when I take these pins out, what you're going to have
what
is
model's your Juki? Charlotte
the TL 2010Q. I have 2 pockets. You can see the stitching right here. Obviously the iron is going to get rid of that red line. So now I have 2 slip pockets right here. So I'm going to toss this over out of the way so that we can add the other one. I'll just get rid of that line real quick. Now I'm going to take this other piece. This is the one that now has the pin holder in it. Now you don't have to do this. You can repeat that same process for your other slip pocket, but this one is getting a pin holder. All of my bags are getting pin holders because I like pins in my bag, so I like having a pin holder because that way I don't have to dig for the pin in the bottom. All right, so I'm going to start up here. I'm going to back stitch really good. Stitch straight down this, back stitch down here, come all the way across this, stop right here, pivot, come up, 1 stitch over, back down, and then across, and then you're going to go over this fold. It looks kind of funky right now, but that's because there's a pin in it. I will remove that. Stitching across this, I do a couple little back stitches on this just so that this fold stays flat. Come all the way here, and then back up, back stitch, and be done. So let's do this one now. So I'm going to back stitch, come down, and oops, dang it, I did it again. Give me 2 seconds because I've distracted myself. Come on. I'm going to pull my stitching out real quick, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Where'd my tag go? There it is. If it's not up here with me, I'll forget it. I like my purse tags in it.
You got a giraffe at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, has its nails painted, honey.
Cool.
see. It's not just fellers getting their nails painted by little ones.
Okay, so I add my tag. Usually I add it to the top, but I didn't want to rip it completely. I just wanted to fit in the bottom nicely. Come across the bottom. Right before that line, I'm going to back stitch. We're going to come up on one side of the line, back stitching right here at the bottom. I'm going to back stitch right here at the top, really good. I'm going to pivot, take one stitch, just one stitch. Then back stitch right here, come all the way down. Back stitch at the bottom. We're going to come and pull this pin out now. I still have a pin up here holding this, but I want this little pin out.
Delilah loves your fabric.
Thank you. We're going to keep holding this fold down now that the pin is gone. The fold is towards me, so it's really not going to get caught or move or shift. It should be just fine. I'm going to back stitch over it so that holds it down nice and flat. Turn. I'm going to pull this last pin out, keeping everything nice and flat. So on this edge, come to the top, back stitch a bazillion times because the pins go in there. And now we have a pin pocket. So let me put a pin in here so that you can see. Again, this is for multiple pins, not just one. I made sure that it was the size for multiple pins. It goes down further. I just try
Marla, we will talk about that at the end of the video.
Okay, so there's
She wants to know
that.
if you have an Etsy store where you sell your bags.
Okay, so here's that. So it has a regular pocket, and then it has the pin pocket. So, and you could put chapstick down in there. Look, my scissors fit in there. It has room for your fingers to fit chapstick down in there or whatever you want. So, all right, that is now done. Now let's turn the camera and start with the assembly. Here's the fun part, guys, because I'm hoping that my phone is charged because I'm taking it off of the charger for this part. All right, we're 100%. We're removing all this stuff. I didn't even know that. Did somebody give me $5? Thank you to whoever. All that, sorry.
It doesn't show up on the tablet.
Okay.
So I don't know.
We're going to remove this too. No, that's on me. I didn't see, so. All right, I unplugged the speaker. I want you guys to see what I'm doing here. So here we go. Grab all your pieces. So now you should have 2 bags, outer pieces, and then 2 lining pieces, okay? Put all that next to you because now let's assemble this bag. We're going to try to do it before my phone does not have enough charge.
You will be able to. You said your phone's at 100%.
Does anybody have any questions up to this point? Like I said, you don't have to use foam. This is what the foam looks like once it is sewn in. You can see I have seam line all the way around. See, this is really deep right here because there's going to be a zipper. So the foam sits nicely. If you are using felt, fleece, flannel, any of that kind of stuff as your bag lining and quilting it. Who did?
Becca.
Oh, Becca. Okay, thank you, Becca. If you're using faux and you're quilting it and staying down, you don't have to worry about this because you're still top stitching afterwards and it's not going to be as bulky. Can you pass me that bag right here on this one right there?
This one, colored.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That one right there.
This one?
That's fine.
See,
These ones are the ones that are made with felt and batting. So you can see I just kept it all the way to the edge. It's nice and thick right here. So these have foam and batting. I mean felt and batting, not foam. And look. So if it's quilted nicely and holds, then you can get away with, on the smaller bags, not using foam at all. And if you're making a bigger bag without the foam, you're still going to have quite a bit of thickness. But just make sure, like I said earlier, that you are using a really good interfacing or stabilizer that is thick, because that's what's holding this part nice and crisp like any other bag, okay? So you want to make sure that your interfacing is the thick part, no matter how thick your felt or your batting is for your bag. If you're not using foam, just make sure you're using a really, really thick, crisp stabilizer on your fabric, because that will give you a nice thick bag, okay? You can hang that back up. So here with foam, I have a pretty thick bag. So I'm going to start by pushing these with my fingers out of the way on both the top and the bottom.
Saying that's beautiful.
For now, I'm going to move this out of my way.
Did anyone have any questions that you asked earlier that we didn't get to?
Yeah, if anybody asks questions, you can ask now that Scott's here and can read.
I can read them now. If anyone
All
has
right.
any questions.
I'm folding these down out of the way. We're going to start with this piece. We're going to take our zipper, okay? The zipper is facing out with the zipper like this, okay? So your zipper is facing away from you. I want my zipper in my left hand, okay? My left hand has the zipper part. If you're right-handed, put it on the opposite, but it doesn't really matter with this bag because this is a non-directional bag. You can hold it either way and it's the same way, unless you have like a zipper pocket on the inside of your bag, which I did not add. So I'm just putting it to start in my left hand. I'm going to put the zipper facing down, and I'm going to center this right here on this unit. So that looks about center to me. You guys might, oops, hold on. Before you do that, snip away the excess right here. Duh. I almost like did that with it. We're going to snip away the excess of the zipper. I totally forgot that part. I get easily distracted when there's people in here with me.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
talking.
I know. So I'm just lining my ruler up with it, snipping it away. So now you can see this is one flush piece. So I'm just lining my zipper up with it, with the ruler. And it may seem crooked. That's okay, because technically it sort of is. I'm lining that zipper up. Oops. Cut that away. So now I have a nice straight piece. I don't know why I totally skipped that part. All right, let's grab this back over again. Zipper, left side. Zipper, face down. Center the unit. Just like this. And we're going to put a couple clips in here temporarily. Zipper is face down. Your bag is face up towards you, right side up. So you should have something that looks like this, pinned, and it's going to be sticking out on both ends. But this, if you can see, my little zipper things are equal with this stitching right here on both sides. So that's how I know I have it nice and equal. Now we're going to take a bag lining. It doesn't matter if it's the two pockets or if it's the side that has the pin holder. Like, it doesn't matter, because either way the bag is reversible. You can use it either which way. So I'm going to put one right sides down. So right side up, zipper, right side down, lining, right side down. So these should be right sides together. I'm going to line up this top, and I am going to take my pins and put them in here like this, all the way across the top. Since I already have pins in here, I'm just lifting them and adding my lining into the pin. Okay, so now I have lining, zipper in the middle, facing right sides. The zipper is right sides together with this, and these are right sides together. Okay, just like this. And right at this point, I'm going to move my zipper down just a little bit, because I always at this point get stuck when I first start. It gets stuck every time. So I move it down just a little, and then I move it back up again. So everything's clipped, lots of clips at the top, holding everything together. If you want more, add more, because there's nothing like pinning the top of a bag like crazy. So now we're going to come over to the sewing machine, and we're going to start right here at this top. Okay, right here. And I'm going to back stitch right here, joining the zipper, the lining, and the bag top together.
Any questions at all, anyone?
I'm going to line it all up. I'm going to back stitch, and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam. If you have a zipper foot, use that. I'm sewing a 1/4 inch seam, and then I got to move my zipper now, because I told you that I don't know what it is, but my little zippers are, I have to move them a lot because I'm not using a zipper foot.
You don't have the computer on it here?
No.
Oh.
I didn't want to do the computer today because I needed the desk.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
My goodness. Come
Do
on.
you need a hand?
No. Just need to get my zipper with my fingers. Hold on. I had a little sewing problem right here. Give me 2 seconds to snip this out. Sometimes this happens, sometimes it doesn't. So when it was open with the zipper, it grabbed at the open area, and I got more seam allowance than I wanted. So it's kind of bowing right there. I make sure all this is right. A couple of them ended up that way, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. So I'm just going to rip it out just a little bit back to my 1/4 inch seam. Let's try this again. Is that still good? Still good? Right there? No. Right there. Yes. Alright, let's fix that. 1/4 inch seam right there. Push my zipper down. We're going to sew this now. Keeping that 1/4 inch seam. As long as I don't rush anything, I'm good.
Linda says even with the zipper foot, you should move the tab up and down the zipper when sewing.
Yeah. Stay. All right. So now I have this piece.
Once you guys get going, it shouldn't take you too long to do these. Tiff's been doing them about an hour and a half. Takes her to do one all week, huh, honey? She's been working like mad.
I don't like this. Hold on, I gotta pick this out. I don't like this end. Every once in a while, this happens when it takes off. I just pluck this out right here. Just a couple stitches.
It's okay to make mistakes. They need to see. Want to fix?
I know.
Well, you're teaching. It's part of teaching.
I know.
That's such a cool little tool, too.
Well, it's kind of hard to use this cool little tool when...
Do you need a hand?
No.
Want me to do something?
No.
Okay. I'm just trying to help.
I'm just trying to change my seam allowance real quick right here. This happens every once in a while. Okay, let me fix this because it's annoying me. I want it to be perfect.
She's Speedy Gonzales.
Right there. Stay right there. There we go. Now, that should be good. Yes. Now I gotta pull all these little threads out. That's okay. It happens. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to back you up so you can see just a little bit. So I'm going to open this up, and I am going to fold, can you see this fold right here? I'm going to fold this down, lining facing up, but holding the lining on this side. I just want the lining to, the seam to go towards up, or towards my side. And then I'm going to fold my foam side down on top of that. And now I'm going to stitch that. So I'm going to hold it with my fingers, pushing the whole entire thing one way. Seam. I'm not sewing the bag lining into this seam because it lays better when I go to sew the whole thing together if I just don't sew that. I'm just sewing it all to one side now. Everything should be lining up with the foam now because we took that seam away. I just adjust as I go, making sure everything's facing the one side. And now it is top stitched along the zipper on the one side. So it's top stitched. So now it looks like this. My lining should meet up with the foam now. Okay, so my lining meets up with the foam, so when I pull this lining over, now all I have to do is press this down, which it lays pretty flat on its own. So I'm just going to press it out off the camera real quick. Just going to give it a little bit of heat to press it out of the way. There we go. So now it should look like this. Okay, and then the other side should have a nice top stitch all the way along this right here. Okay, and you still have these little tabs hanging out. Don't worry, all that will come off soon. All right, let's face this way now. I'm gonna grab bag, top. Why did I just do that? Hold on 2 seconds. We're just gonna turn back this way because this was better. Okay, got that. It's all in the camera. Now, grab the next piece. Your next bag piece, fold these down out of the way. We're going to take, this one is facing up, so pretty side up. Then we're going to take this part and we're going to put it pretty sides down, so right sides together. We're going to align everything. So you have these little tabs sticking out, keep them that way. For now, just use your fingers to align all the fabric. So your two pieces should line on this edge, and they should line on this edge, and it should line up with the zipper on the top. So if you gotta throw some clips in it at this point, put some clips in it. You guys see how that just went flying out of my fingers? So the zipper is lined at the top. The two sides are lined up, but all the rest of this, can you see, sticks out. That is perfectly fine. That's how it goes. Now take your other lining piece. Oops, I didn't see that little thread right there. Take your other lining piece and take that right sides together. Right sides together, and it's going to stick up, but you're going to line the sides up and you're going to line that top up. So put that top in, connect it with all your clips. So again, your linings are now right sides together and your bag is now right sides together. Nothing lines up at this bottom part. Nothing is lining up. Only this top and only the sides. And now we're going to sew from up here all the way down and move the zipper out of the way and then continue the rest of the way down. And I'm going to take you over here to do that. So we're just going to sew a 1/4 inch seam along the zipper. So I'm going to again line all this up nicely, keeping everything nice. Back stitch and sew a 1/4 inch seam. And I use my fingers along the zipper because I didn't put a zipper foot on to feel for the zipper. That helps everything stay nice and flush. So now I'm going to go in here and pull my zipper out of the way. There we go, zipper's out of the way. And then continue my seam. And back stitch, and then I'm going to check because I want to make sure that I have an equal distance. So I'm looking, equal distance, equal distance. The zipper looks great all the way down. Move these clips out of the way. And now the side that I just sewn, I'm going to put both linings, let's back you up for a second, take both lining pieces to one side. We're going to repeat that process. So I'm going to push my stitch, my lining, all this to that side. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make sure that it's nice and flush, and I'm going to top stitch this side now. Make sure that your bags, I accidentally did that too. I wasn't paying attention. You know, I should not do this when I'm super tired and head hurts at the same time. So I've been just doing these while I'm in okay mode, like right now. Sort of. So I'm going to top stitch now. I'm going to feel for that seam with my finger to make sure it's pushed towards the foam. I want everything facing the foam. Okay, so now I should have this, and then you have your two lining pieces that go right sides together, and those go right sides together. So now You have this. I'm going to push this with the iron to where it's nice and flat. I'm just taking a quick heating it up real quick and just kind of pushing back the rest of the way. Okay, so let's back the camera up. Now here's my bag, sort of, in stage one. Now we're going to assemble it. So now we're going to unzip this zipper while it's open, because this is what you have. Well, technically, first you need to cut off these now because you don't need them. So everything is now level and aligned. You can cut that little piece off on both sides, okay? So just grab that, trim it equal with the bag, and now it's all equal. So now we're going to open this zipper most of the way, pretty much to, I open it all the way until it's at the other side of the straps. We're going to grab those and put them right sides together. Then let the line fall down. So we're going to clip these right sides together. So we're clipping the lining right sides together at this point. And then that little zipper tab is going to naturally want, because of the way we sewed these ends right here, that zipper tab is going to naturally face towards the lining. You want that. Okay, so put a pin in that. And again, on this side, you can see the zipper tab wants to face towards the lining. So just pinch it together, line up the seams. It's not going to be so thick because of the foam. Everything lines up with the foam, see? The foam is perfect size for this bag now. So now we're going to put a pin or a clip right there. Let's add a clip right here. And now we're going to clip the lining together. So let's put a couple lining clips in here. I'm also going to clip the lining about right here on each side because I want a hand space. Trust me, this foam needs a lot of space to pull through. So I'm going to put a stopping stitch point and a stopping stitch point because we're going to be leaving the bottom of this bag open. And then I'm going to put some pin right here. Let's just put it right here to hold it nicely.
Sarah, we would love to have you join the group. Sarah wants to join your Facebook group.
There's links in the description below, and or my moderators can add the links to the Facebook group. And also, just so you guys
Teresa's
know,
already.
I have moderators that are here that also have channels of their own. You guys can go check them out at your convenience and check out their pages. This next step, I'm going to ask Scott to come stand behind me and hold the camera.
Okay.
I want them to see me sewing on the foam side, and this won't hold up. So pick up this whole entire thing.
Where am I going?
Just pick it up. You guys are going to move. You're coming on this side of me.
That side.
Come behind me and just stay as steady as you can, facing down.
Straight down at the sewing, right?
Yeah, you want them to see this. So we're going to start on the foam side of the bag, guys. The foam side. I'm going to remove this first pin, and I'm going to come right here, down some on that zipper tape. This is zipper tab. And I'm going to start my stitching right here. I'm going to sew around this whole entire thing. See how I'm next to that foam? I'm even catching it in some parts. We want to sew along this foam. So I'm using almost 5/8 of an inch of a seam right here. And we're going to sew right off this edge. Tack it down. Turn the whole entire thing. Come to your bottom. Line it up, your needle with your foam. Back stitch right here, and now sew again along that foam. You don't have to sew on it, but as long as you're next to it or along it. Do not sew in here, that's afterwards for those that are beginners. So again, we're sewing about 5/8 of an inch of a seam. I still have some. Thought I was out of okay, so now we're coming up here. I'm going to sew down over that about a few stitches, and then I'm going to tilt it just a little bit, take 2 stitches, and now I'm going to sew a full 5/8 of an inch of seam allowance. I know it seems like I'm sewing in so much, and I probably am. These bags lose a lot in their size. I'm going to sew my end here. Stop it right here. So that way I have an opening. I'm leaving an opening between. So I'm going to come about right here. Back stitch quite a bit. Back stitch. I don't want that falling apart. Take these clips out too. Lining up 5/8 of an inch on my machine. Lining this right here. Am I out of bobbin?
Uh-oh.
Nope, I'm not. Sounded like it. It was kind of weird sounding. Sewing 5/8 of an inch. And I'm going to come up and then take, right before it, I'll take 2 stitches towards, right there, 2 stitches towards that end and then meet up. So it'll look kind of crooked right there. Now we're going to come over here. Scott, you come back around the other side. This is where I said you needed some sharp
You want me to put this back?
scissors.
Or do you want me to hold it?
You can hold it. So with the sharp scissors, we're going to go ahead and trim away some of this bag. So you can see I'm trimming away some of this seam allowance because it is not needed. But only for now, I'm just taking away from the bag itself. I'm not cutting anything away from these corners just yet because they have not been sewn. So I'm taking it down to about a 1/4 inch seam. So I'm cutting it away. This is why I said sharp scissors, because you're really cutting through a lot of layers here. And just take this all the way down. Bam, just like that. I left this here with my opening. And this right here has not been trimmed as well because we're going to now pull these open.
Oh, you're moving on me.
We're going to pull these open like this. And with the foam, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to line this seam all the way up, push one side, one the other. We're going to put a clip in that. Ouch. A clip here. And a clip here to hold that. Turn the whole thing. Grab this other side. And if you have to reach your hand into the bag right here to push this out and flatten it, then go ahead and do that. But I don't find it necessary with foam. So again, this seam I have pressed this way, so I'm going to fold it this way, just like that. We're going to put a pin or clip, and I just keep elbowing myself, and a clip. And now I'm going to
What are the name of those clips?
Binder clips. I don't know what brand they are because
ST was curious.
they are just binder clips. I don't know what brand they are because it doesn't say it really on them. They're just a bunch of colorful binding clips. You can just Google binding clips. So now I'm going to stitch, and Scott's going to come back over. I'm going to stitch along this seam next to the foam again on this one and on this one. And I'm going to back tack at the front, the middle, and the end because there's a seam here. So we're going to come over here.
So I'm coming back?
Yep. Just push the bag nice and flat. This is the part that the clips should be holding it, but push it nice and flat.
I don't know about being your cameraman. I don't mind reading the comments. I worry that I'm like shaky or something.
I am too, so we're gonna make sure that this stays nice and flush. See how it started to turn like that?
Everyone's saying they're wonder clips. Is what
Wonder clips. Mine are called binding clips. I actually got there's some off-brand one called binding clips. I'm gonna hold that, get to it. I'm gonna back stitch. Keeping it nice and flat. I'm sewing along the edge of that foam. It should all line up nicely. So now I'll have this side.
Hold on,
Okay.
hold on.
It's
You're
along
moving.
the foam. And now we're going to come and do this side. So again, just going to push the bag, keeping everything flat, sewing along this foam. Back stitch at the beginning, back stitch when you get to this middle,
Is that what that button is that you keep pressing?
Yep, back stitch at the end. So now I'm going to go ahead and trim all that away, about a 1/4 inch. Trim this side about a 1/4 inch. And now we're going to do the same right here with these. So we're just going to go and push one way, one the other, like that. Put a clip on it, holding these level with each other. Put a clip. I'll just do one at a time for now. Bring it down here. These are 5/8 of an inch. Don't forget that. Making sure everything's staying flat. No parts of the bags are getting sewn to themselves. Stay, stay. So there's one. Let's come over here. Do the other. So I have the seam going this way, so on this next part I'm going to have the seam going that way as well. You guys should give Scott a wonderful thumbs up for being the cameraman today, holding this so that you guys can actually see how this works.
One said I was doing a good job, but I don't know.
He probably doesn't feel like he's doing a good
keep moving,
job.
so then I gotta move, and it's getting all blurry. Every time the machine goes, it's getting blurry.
So again,
you can't keep the machine.
And there's that. So let's trim away this. You can take the camera and put it down now, because now is the time you don't need to hold it anymore. So just take it over to that spot.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm watching you cut it.
Okay. So we're just cutting away all this excess. Oops. Don't cut your fingers, because let me tell you that these Karen K. Buckley scissors, Scott was like, "Are you supposed to be killing someone with those? What are these?"
Yeah.
Because
look at those things.
I have jabbed myself, and I've also dropped them on my big toe. It landed on my nail, on my big toe nail, so it's a good thing, because this would have went through my toes or the top of my foot. But yeah, it landed on my big toe the other day, and yeah, it landed on the nail, so I got lucky.
I told her, I said, those are killing people.
All right, so here is the part you guys want to see.
Okay, where's...
Face me. Hi. Okay, see me now?
Yes.
Okay. You have a funky looking thing like this. That's okay. Reach your hand inside that hole, because now we're done. We're going to unzip that zipper the rest of the way. I'm going to, because I'm using foam, I'm going to push it with my fingers and grab the hand that's in there. I'm going to grab the whole thing. You can see it in my hand. And I'm going to pull some of it into the lining, okay? Just into the lining for now. I'm going to reach in and grab some more, pulling it into the lining, okay? So now it looks kind of funny, but because it's foam, it fits better this way. Now I'm going to grab some of it, pull it through the hole, pull it through the hole, pull it through the hole, birth in this bag, and look at how easy that comes out. It's not that horrible with the foam. All right, so now I'm going to push, my hand is inside there. I'm going to push out one corner, push out another corner, push, and push.
Lower, blurry.
Okay, so the corners are, 4 corners pushed out.
Everyone can see.
Now, see how there's a crease right here? We're going to take our finger, okay, so let's show you from the back side. It sticks out on the inside like this, okay? This is where you need, if you need it, a hair marker, and you stick it into the hole with your hand, come up here into this crease, and you're going to push it out. It takes a bunch of fingers to feel for it, but as soon as you get it, it pushes right out. So I'm going to take the hair marker and I'm going to push that completely out. So it looks like that. Is it focused?
Yep.
Okay. So now I'm going to come over to the other
I have
side.
to look up there because this one has a delay, so I'm back and forth.
I'm going to use my finger first to find it. Push it a little bit with my finger and then take the end of the hair marker, using that to push it out. So now this one should look like that. Now you know why I got rid of the excess zipper and did not put a bunch of seams in there by doing like other bag makers do, zipper tab thing, because it makes it nice and easy to push it out. So easy. Now the moment of truth. Before you stitch anything else, push your lining into your bag. Use your fingers. Because you stitched it a little bit smaller, it allows room for the foam and everything. And even without sewing it closed, it fits in there perfectly. Everything is nice. It's into the sides. It's fitting in there perfectly. So once you realize that it's fitting in perfectly, the last step is easy. Pull that back out. And I'm going to just use my fingers to make that. It's such a big seam.
They say it looks so cute.
We're going to oops, I got all this thread coming up.
ST says it looks so cute.
All right, so we're going to line this up, folding that in with our fingers. Oops, I use the iron for this part. You guys don't have to, but I'm just going to press this perfectly in half. Okay, so I'm just going to roll myself over to the iron, which you cannot see.
Do you want me to move the camera?
No, it's fine. I'll show them afterwards. And I'm going to press that so it's a nice crease. And when I sew it, I want to make sure that these seams come together. And I'm just going to sew not even 1/8 of a way. I'm just going to sew right along the edge.
Love the colors, beautiful.
So I'll show you guys that edge. Let me sew it real quick. And I'll show you how close I really mean that I sewed it to the edge. I sew from end to end. Why? Because it's an aesthetic thing for me. So I just keep it nice and flush. All the way from one corner to the other. Sealing that whole thing up. Don't let your handles get stuck on your sewing machine area. My back stitch at the edge. And my tag is already in here. It is on. I just go through and make sure that I caught it all the way along the whole edge, and I did. So you can see that stitching. It goes along that edge, but it's not on the edge so that it will catch the whole entire way, but I go from one end to the other. It makes it a little more uniform when it's down in there. And I just use my fingers to straighten everything out. Make sure the bag zips closed properly, and it does. And look at that. So it has the double slip pocket. And then the other side has the single slip and the pen or chapstick or whatever you want to put in the holder. And everything is just the right amount down. You could have added whatever you want if you wanted a zipper pocket inside. Your straps don't hang too far, so they don't sit on the ground. Again, it turns out 14 at the top, 14 inches at the top, 9 inches at the bottom, 6 inches wide, and 10 inches tall. And then the straps should be a total of 20 inches. They're on here, so that way you can put it up on your arm or however. So this is the Tiffy bag. So this is size 2 of the Tiffy bag. So let me put you guys up here for now so we can hang out this way. Temporarily stay. All right, so there that is. He took off with the comments, didn't he? Yes, he did. So now, not only do I have 1, but now I have 2. Same colorway. Same on the inside. Everything's exactly the same. So I have 2 bags now, except for the zipper. The zipper is a little bit different color because I didn't have all of the same shade, but now I have 2 of the same bag. So until Scott comes back in here to read the comments, because he's gone and disappeared, I will clean up my mess right here.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
here.
he's back.
Come here, I had a quick call from everybody's saying it's very nice, that you rock.
So
As
there
Steve says,
is
I love how
that
perky
goes
it looks.
together.
Awesome, great job.
And I was asked earlier about the sides, and I can tell you, just because this is the Tiffy bag, it's not supposed to stand up straight. This bag is not meant to be flat like that, straight up. It's meant to stick out on the sides. That is the look of my bag, is for it to be short at the bottom, wide at the top. That is the look of this bag. So to answer any questions, it's supposed to be that way. That way when you open the bag, you have a nice wide opening. You can fit a wallet in here and a bunch of everything you want to put in here. These bags have plenty of space because my little bags have plenty of space. So we are going to let you know what's going on here. And while I do that, let me just lay these right here, and we're going to just keep those right there for a second.
Do you want me to hand them to you? Stay over there.
No, I'm going on the ironing board.
Okay, I want you to stay over there. I'll hand them to you.
No, it's fine. All right. Give me 2 seconds to set this up so I can tell you guys what's going on here. Oops, there's two. That way they can stay with each other. And then you guys obviously know I'm just going to pull one of those away. All right. Give me 2 seconds. Here we're getting this together, just so that you guys can see.
Becca says, my bag looks amazing.
All right.
Okay, just wait, everyone. G-Car EQ and all you guys, just hold on.
2 seconds, and here we go. I'm going to steal this away so that you can see how crazy I am. I'm just going to stick it on top of a project that's over here because I really don't have any other space. All right. My bags are going to be for sale. I am going to give you guys here, I'm not turning yet. I'm going to give you guys first option to purchase using PayPal invoicing if you guys are interested in my bags. The little ones are going to be $35 and the big ones are $45. Now, once they hit eBay or Etsy, they're going up because Etsy takes a fee, and to collect that fee and get the full amount for supplies to keep going, it's going to be $2 more. So there'll be 37 and 47. Just, I'm letting you know now. Plus shipping, you pay your shipping as well. I don't know how Scott's going to be doing the shipping, but while I'm having surgical problems and all that stuff like that coming up, this is what he will be selling for me so that something can come out of Tiffany's quilting life when I'm unavailable. So without further ado, let me take you to what you need to see. Here we go. Camera's moving. Ta-da! So, there's 2 of these so far.
Stand over there.
I'm-
Do your thing. I will take the camera and show.
This is what we have so far. These are the colorways.
So if you really want one, G-Car EQ, and Becca, yes, we know. She's been talking about you all week, as I said earlier in the comments.
So now there are 2 of the big ones of that colorway. Then in the little ones, we have Gecko and Rainbow. We have 2 Batman.
Which green one?
Just, if you guys are interested, we're going to figure this out. We got a pink one, and anybody that's curious, that's actually motorcycle chain. It's not beads. It's
Okay.
totally awesome.
The small ones are
30,
and the large ones are
45.
45. So G-Car, do you mean one of these green ones? That's a big one. That would be 45.
And I'm not going to be able to make too many out of every color because I have enough now to make 1 more in this color. I have enough for 2 more in that color, enough for 2 more in that color, and enough for 1 more in that colorway. And then I got to go buy supplies. The rest of these are all one-of-a-kinds, the small ones, because obviously I can't make 2 of everything because I don't have the fabric for it. So those
Okay,
are
well,
just
how do you
me
wanna
digging
do
through my
this?
stuff.
Because
So-
Brenda wants an aqua colored one.
That's
Tony wants a skull
that's
one.
what's there.
Nita wants a Batman one.
all right. So how I'm going to do this, because there's not a ton of bags and there is so many of you out there. Like I said, I have enough to keep going on a couple. It's going to be probably I'm going to open it up on my Facebook business page. We're going to go over to there. I'm going to post them, and it's going to be the first person to comment saying, I'll take it. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go to my Facebook business page, which is in the description below. There's a link to it. A lot of you follow it already. I'm going to post pictures, single pictures inside and out of the bags. And then the first person that comments wanting that bag will get that bag. Obviously, some will be order, because if more than one person wants the one color in order.
Write down names now? Put them with the bag?
No, we're gonna do it the way I want on through the Facebook thing,
Well,
and then I
everybody's
will.
already commenting
As
which
soon
ones
as
they
I
want.
have your email address, I can send you a PayPal invoice. That's the only way I'm going to do payment right now is PayPal invoicing. I send you an invoice, you pay it, blah, blah, blah. Like I have, hold on, I have another colorway coming.
Did you get me a junky piece of paper?
This is the next colorway.
Or any other pen, I don't care.
already have started this colorway. So this is brown and purple.
Any crappy piece
And
of paper and
they'll be, the lining is never the same in every bag. I could tell you that much right now. It's never the same in every bag. Every bag's lining has something different. They do go together though. Just like every zipper is not the same color on every bag.
Piece of paper, real piece
every
of paper. I got
single
like
one of those
there.
things have different things throughout the bag. So those are the colorways I have available now. 2 of the blues, 1 of the brown and aquas, 1 of the purples so far right now, but I have another one cut and ready to sew. 2 of the turquoise green ones, and then all of those little ones are all random, and those are one of a kind. So as soon as I post pictures of them in the Facebook thing, go over there, because I knew all of you guys would want them as soon as I announced them for sale. That you guys would want a bag by me. They all have tags in them that says they're made by me, but it just says made by Tiffany. Some of them have tags that say may contain cat hair, only because I'm trying to use those up because I have nothing else to use those tags on. So, yeah, that's what it's going to be. So in the Facebook, in the description below, my Facebook business page, I'm going to post pictures of every single bag individually, and then what's inside of them, and then the first person that comments on those pictures, so just watch for it if you really, really want a bag. I'll be the ones that get the ones that are already made, and then, yeah. And like I said, some of them don't have as thick of interfacing, so they're not as strong. Some of them have really thick interfacing because I'm using up all of my supplies, and they're stronger. So some of them are different than others, but they're all just as cute. And mine is like this, and I have tons of stuff in mine. Ask Scott. I filled mine with everything.
Yes, she does. She uses it a lot.
I went to the doctor's office the other day, and I completely filled it up. So, and then others will be coming soon. The newest purple and brown colorway, and you guys saw me on So Yeah last night. I tried to buy fabric. There's going to be a pink and a light pink, dark pink colorway, another butterfly colorway that's white with butterflies, but I have to get another combo color to go with it, like an accent color. There's a bunch of things I need to get accent colors for, so I gotta go shopping. And I've been shopping online, but I'm not finding everything that I need at this point. And then I gotta buy more foam because the foam goes quick. So far I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's a cutout, and I'll get 8, 9. I'll have 9 big bags out of just the foam I had now. So yeah, that's what I have going on. Little update for those that are curious. I went to the doctor's.
How soon will you post them?
As soon as I'm situated after this video. Just give me, I haven't had dinner or anything, so they should be up tonight because I have photos already on my phone.
Try the pink one again.
This one has, and both sides are different, as you can tell. So the big flower landed right here, and then it has whatever, and then this one.
Becca wants to talk more about solids.
About this, so
okay.
Yeah. But I need to get more accent colors for more colorways. So I mean, if you guys don't want to buy the colorways that are now and you like the bags and the idea of my bags, more colorways are coming soon, and I will be making, here's my update medically. Friday I went to the doctor's, to the surgeon. He wants to see me back in 2 weeks. He does not want to start operating on me until I see a lung specialist. Why? Because most people with valley fever, I have a mass in my left and a nodule in my right. The mass in my left has now spread to my right. He doesn't want to cut out the left and then wait a month for me to heal to cut out the right, when the right has the time to it grew in 3 months. In 3 months, the right grew. So he doesn't want it to grow back to what's left of my lung in my left. So I have to go to a lung specialist and get a bronchoscopy and whatever other tests, like a PET scan and stuff, to see, because I do have swollen lymph nodes completely surrounding in my neck and behind my ears and in my armpits and all sorts of stuff. So medically, he wants to make sure that it's not just valley fever, or make sure that it's just valley fever and not some underlining condition that valley fever has covered over. and masked itself, because valley fever is still not in my blood. I just had a blood test again and I still don't have it in my blood. So they're not sure if it's MS or what, but my body does not pick it up. It's not fighting it off either, even with the medicine. I'm just growing more. So they want to make sure by the lung specialist. And then in 2 weeks, I go back and schedule surgery. So until surgery, this is what I'm making. Scott will be selling and shipping off the bags when I'm in the hospital, because they'll be pre-made unless you guys buy them all right away. No international shipping at the moment, unfortunately, because I don't even know how much that costs. We don't mail internationally unless someone prepays that. So Scott's going to show the bags again, and yeah. So I'm going to post these. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to post the finished pictures of what I have available now in the business page. You guys have the first option to buy these now. $35 for the little ones and $45 for the big ones. Okay, the size 1 and size 2. You guys saw I'm not making them with zipper pockets. So the inside of every single bag are exactly the same. They all have the pin pocket and the regular pocket. Just as you saw me make it, I've made them all exactly the same. So the inside of this one is dark purple. It's got the main fabric as you saw how I made it on the inside.
Thank you everyone for prayers.
This has the same lining as the brown one that you just saw me make. Okay, and in some bags the tags are in different spaces because I, had issues. They are all quilted exactly the same. The little ones have bright color lining or something in them, and then the accent color is actually the pocket in the little one. So they only have one, and these have little cat hair stickers or cat hair tags because I don't know what else. This is my first zipper. I've never did a zipper this way because I had to put it on, but this one has 2 pockets inside of it. So they're all different. They're just whatever.
Shelly, I wrote down names, but I'm not guaranteeing you any of these will be held because Tiff wants to do it through her Facebook thing. So I have Shelly Stewart as a pink one on the guitars, Brenda as an aqua color, Tony Conway as skulls or chains, Sherry Pickle as a butterfly,
This is why I didn't want
Anita Henderson, a dark yellow Batman. But I can't do the whole things because we have no way of paying at the moment. You're going to have to go to the Facebook thing to pay and
wait
buy.
for them to be pictures, and then I will email you when
She
I
can
have
email you
the addresses, the PayPal, what is it called again? Invoice.
Yes, she has to email you a PayPal invoice in order for you to pay us because we don't really have a way for you to pay us at the moment. So I can't hold them.
All right, you can just put the camera.
I can write down the ones you guys want, but I can't really hold them. You have to go onto the Facebook
business page.
Business page. Do you want it back up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, the bigger ones are getting 1 more in each colorway, except the purple butterflies only gets 1 more of that colorway, and then the outer color is going to change the accent color because I don't have enough accent for that one.
As soon as we get off the video, she'll go on the Facebook page and start.
I'll start posting pictures, and the first person.
So all you guys go over to that.
First person that gets it.
Becky's taking care of it.
Huh?
Becky's taking care of it.
Okay.
Don't you already know which one she wants?
Yes.
Okay.
I think. She changed her mind like 5 times.
Becca, you changed your mind 5 times. You're taken care of, but you got to make your mind up.
So, yeah. Anyways, like I said, there's going to be more coming. I'm trying to get them done. I'm making them out.
Like I said, she does them in an hour and a half. She's been making them every day this week. She's been just going crazy.
2 or 3 a day is what I'm making so far. So.
What are the size of the small ones? Do we have an actual size? Brenda's asking.
The small one is...
Here, let's do a small one compared to a big one.
6 inches at the bottom, like 4 inches across this way, 6 inches this way. The bag is, hold on, 6 inches tall, like right here, and the top of the bag is 10 inches wide. The bigger bags come out. This is every time I make them. This is going to be exactly the same within centimeters, like they're not much difference. So the big one, 9 inches here, 6 inches here, 10 inches from top to bottom, and 14 inches from side to side. That's how they turn out.
Facebook business page?
It's in the description below.
Just tell me I'm going to...
It's Quilts by Tiff. Facebook.com/Quilts by Tiff. Scott's trying to figure out how to do this. /. You don't even know how to do that on here. Press this button.
I don't know what / is.
/ and then ABC. Quilts by Tiff. QUILTS.
I know how to spell quilts.
All one word, lowercase, yes.
Okay, I know how to spell.
Hopefully the link will go in. He doesn't know how to do this. He's learning.
Is it all one word? Quilts by Tiff?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yep, and then just press the enter button and see what happens. It might put the link, it might not.
Facebook.com Quilts by Tiff?
Oh, it didn't link it. Nope. That's
Oh.
fine. That's what it is. It's Quilts by Tiff on Facebook. That's what my thing is.
Here, Teresa put it on there too.
Teresa put the link. Scott
Yes.
doesn't know how to use that
Thank
stuff.
you, Teresa. I don't know how to do this.
Oh, and every single one of these has a coordinating thread. I always put coordinating thread, and if I run out of a certain thread, then I'll find another coordinating
Marla wants
color.
to know what kind of foam you use, quick.
The foam for making your own is the Pellon Flex Foam one-sided fusible stabilizer, the FF78F1. You can also use the FF77. It's like a minuscule thinner than the 78. The numbers are thinner by what they are. So you can also use the 77. Walmart sells it. Hobby Lobby sells it. Joanne sells it. You know, everywhere sells it. It's just finding the right amount for the right amount of bag. I'm going to be going through a lot because I'm making a lot of bags. This is all I'm going to do. No quilt tops are going to come from me in the next till surgery. So in the next 2 months, you guys won't see me do anything but making bags and finishing some projects, as you saw. I do have some projects that I'm working on if I don't feel like making a bag. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I've gone bag crazy.
We don't want them to give us their
crazy.
PayPal account now, right?
No, don't give me any of your information on here, please. Do not give your information
Yeah,
on
don't
here.
put your information on here. We will go...
I send invoices out through PayPal. I've used it plenty of times. I've never had a problem with it.
We're going to get off here now so she can do it, and you guys can buy as many as you want. She will make more if one is sold and you guys would like it.
I will delete the ones that sell.
Yes.
Or write sold, because you still want to see pictures of the colorways.
And if you guys would like it, you can ask her if she has more fabric of that, she can make you another one of it. If we don't have more fabric, then she can make you something different. But if like, one's sold that you wanted...
Like this colorway, I have almost 3 yards of both. So the lining is going to be different every time, but I have plenty to make this colorway a bazillion times. You know, I have that brown
like the motorcycle chain, the back
yeah, the motorcycle chain I have enough to make one more, but the pink is going to change. Like some of them I only have enough for one. I'm using up all of my fabrics here for this, guys. All of that Moda and all those fancy things that I just bought, that's what I'm using. So Hoffman fabrics and all that, they're all getting used up, all the good stuff, because... Well, it's just gonna build up and take up space since there's only 2 of each. So on the that stack right there, those 2 bottom ones, just the 2 bottoms.
Okay, Brenda, like we're saying, she's going to be making them until her surgery.
Until my surgery, I'm making as many as I possibly can. Here's another colorway.
You can make requests for certain colorways of ones of fabric that we do have.
This is new Benertex line right here. So this is another colorway. Obviously, I don't know what the lining will be, but this will be the inside and outside, or outside and inside. They can opposite of each other. It doesn't really matter. I have enough to do.
You have more guitar fabric?
Plenty. Just a couple. The guitar fabric was scraps. I was using scraps to make that. So I can make more scrap bags if you guys are interested in the scrap bags, the ones that I make with strings.
Well, the guitar, the Batman, and the motorcycle chain seems to be everybody.
The Batman's completely out. I have no more Batman. That was it.
Nita wants that. So Nita, get on the Batman.
I can also do other customs like Star Wars. I have Star Wars prints. I know it kind of seems silly, but I have Elsa and things like that.
Well, they're asking about stuff for daughters and granddaughters. We have Elsa. We have Olaf. We have Minions. We have
I have tons.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like the smaller ones that are not
we have Charlie Brown. We have Winnie the Pooh.
The ones that aren't as hard make great little makeup bags too. And the makeup bags are cool because when you're traveling, you can have all your makeup in a bag that you can hold instead of just a bag that you can't hold the whole thing.
Little kids like Triana love princesses. They love Winnie the Pooh stuff. Any of that. If you guys want Christmas presents for stuff like that, you can buy it now. But Tiff can have it made in less than a week if you tell her you want a Winnie the Pooh.
I'm going to just be doing as many bags as I can. Like I said, I can do... If I had the time to sit here and not be bugged by children, I can make like a bazillion a day. Because I have all day. But, yeah.
We got lots of different fabrics.
If I don't take breaks, then I don't eat and I don't sleep. But I got to go get more supplies or else this cannot continue. So if I can sell this lot first, then I can buy the next amount to keep purchasing. And I'm still purchasing fabric for accents and so on for the bigger prints that I have. So anyway, okay, I'm going to get off of here. I gave you guys my update medically. I'm going to list all these. And yeah, this is the first lot that can go. That way I can go purchase more supplies if you want to buy them. If you want to make them, that's what this pattern was here for today. So you guys saw the whole entire thing, how I do it, however long it took me till I started chit-chatting. And yeah, if once you get used to it, it goes fast if you want to do it. And just to let you know, in the future, there's going to be a next bag size up. But that one will have all the bells and whistles. I'm just little by little designing it, but I want to kind of get all these out of the way first.
Thank Becca and Lizette.
Lizette. Thank you, Becca, and thank you, Lizette. Thank you guys so much.
Lizette gave you $5. Becca gave you 10.
Who knows?
10.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for the super chats today, and thank all of you for joining. I am glad you guys can come and hang out with me in my sewing room for Sunday, the 27th. Today's the 27th.
If they have questions,
for Sew Sunday. If you have any questions about what I made in this video and anything about making the bag, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel if you're new, and or share my videos for other people that you want to learn. For those of you who are interested in purchasing bags, remember to go over to the Facebook group. As soon as it's posted is what will be available.
Can questions be asked on the Facebook group too?
Questions can be asked in the comments on the Facebook group. That's why I'm giving you guys first option before I list on Etsy, because I've told you guys my Etsy problems before. So I really didn't want to have to go and put them all on Etsy just to have them off in a day when I can just do it by Facebook instead. So.
Plus you guys are getting them cheaper this way.
Yeah, by $2, but still it's a difference if you think about it. So it saves you when it comes to paying for shipping. So, and I'll add shipping to your invoices. All right, I covered everything. I thank you guys for being here. I love you all. Bye, and I will see you guys when I see you guys, which will be bag making, because that's all I'm doing.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.